Hey everybody, tonight we are going to stream Gottlieb's very underknown 1983 Rack 'em Up. Just give me a quick audio check, let me know that this is working. I'm seeing some dropped frames here, I'm not sure why. So I just want to make sure everybody hears me. If someone can just go in chat and tell me that that my audio's good and all that's fine. Title still says Addams Family, huh? Well, I updated it. I'm not sure why. I may have to go into Stream Deck and look at that. So let me go look at that real quick and double check that. How about now? There it goes. Okay. So maybe I just had to refresh it after I started the stream. I'm hoping that this microphone's not going to get in my way and that the quality's good, and I'm probably going to keep bumping this back glass camera all night long, so we'll see if I can live here or not. I can already tell it's not going to be good, but we'll slide it just a little bit and see if that's going to help. Alright, I got 22 credits on the machine, so here we go. The purpose of the game is to fill this rack right here on the playfield, and you do that by dropping a target or running through a lane that is blinking. And before the ball rolls past this switch or through this switch, there's an 8-ball pocket switch here, you can switch these by hitting the right flipper. And as you can see, it's changing all over the playfield. So away we go. And now that I've done that, you can't do it. If you go through the spinner, it will also change, but it's random if it goes through the spinner. It's wherever the spinner lands. That was a drain already. So, this machine is pretty beat up. Oh, horrible game already. I'm actually going to pop this camera and move it really quick. I think that's probably a better spot for it. And then let me just do that to get that out of the way. See if that's a little better. I don't even know if you guys can see the blinking score on that anyways. So the trick to this game to really win is to keep changing these things until the absolute last second. Oh, outlaned. That was a pitiful score. Very bad. I'm not going to stream for that long tonight. Moved the pin rig over. That took some time, so I'm not going to have my normal 3-4 hour streams tonight. Oh. I feel like it's still leaning this way just a little bit, like this leg needs to come up just a little. Let me check my nifty app and see what that says, because it seems to be listing just a little bit. Yeah, it's... Yeah, there we go. That's better. Didn't check to see who else was streaming tonight. Looks like I have a loose light connection under one of my pop bumpers. Now this does have the ship again post in it, and that is the way that the game shipped. So I left it that way. Both of my 83s have it. Oh, didn't catch that one in time. Oh. This machine here must have been a money maker in pool halls and bars, because it's not an easy game. Alright, So that's the 8-ball pocket. You have to do that one last, and if you go in there, you have to rotate through the active blinker. Oh. Should have left it on Adam's 50 for tonight. I'm getting that too late now. There's like one YouTube video on how to play this, and it's one of the few games that I've ever seen where it's harder with 5 balls. So, you know, as you can see, there's a certain amount of stuff lit. So across the top there right now, you can see that there's all 4 of those outlanes are lit. Now, if we were in 5-ball mode, only 2 of them would be lit, to make the game harder with 5 balls, which I thought was ridiculous. Really made the game impossible to play. Even though you had 5 balls, you ran out of shots after a while, and it really made it hard to keep hitting that spinner or keep hitting the 8-ball shot to get you where you wanted to be. Now, this was the second pinball machine that Megan and I bought. The first one was the 83 Royal Flush Deluxe, which is in beautiful condition. I honestly believe it was a home use only game, just because the limited wear on the play field. It's going to go into the play floor at Pinball Wizard, but she found a minor problem with it and didn't put it out on the floor. And so it never, oh, I should have waited until it bounced. So it never went out on the floor there. Alright, what was that score? 435,000. So this is a very low scoring game. When we got this machine, it had obviously been vended someplace in a very dirty bar. This game was filthy, and it needed a lot of work. The master fuse holder in this game was completely burnt out. That had to be replaced. It's still missing a clip for the ramp. That I picked up one, but never got it installed. Now I don't know where it is. It's probably in the box of pinball parts. I had to do a flipper rebuild kit on it because the coils were dead. I think this coil needs some work too. It just doesn't have the oomph that I think it should. Hey everybody in chat. Hope you guys are having a good night. We're playing an old 1983 game, even though grand scheme of things, 1983 is not all that old, as we know, but for a pinball machine, for a solid-state pinball machine, it's old, as far as I'm concerned. Gottlieb really moved into solid-state very late, so even the underside of this playfield is very, very mechanical. It has a very repetitive soundtrack. I'm not sure if you can hear that. It's just I still feel like this needs a little more this side. It's a real fun game for pinball players. A lot of good shots in it, but it doesn't have the energy that a newer one with the DMD and everything have. But I know there's some people out there who really like these old classic machines, and I figured I'd stream some of this because everybody's... There we go, there's an 8-ball shot. So when I go through there, I can then cycle through again. And the goal is just to get the rack filled. And when you do fill the rack, you get to fill it again. There really is no wizard mode. You basically, you have to make the 8-ball shot, which is that there. And then once you're done with that, the rack just resets. And again, I left the shoot again post in it because that was original. That's the way they ship from the factory, so that's the way I left it. Some people love shoot again posts and some people hate them. It's really a mixed bag there. So, but when we got this machine, the white rubbers were black. They were so dirty. Nothing special on this machine, no Titan rings, nothing like that. There's no need for silicone rings on an old machine like this. I mean, this hasn't had a lot of play on it. I'm looking at the rings and they're really clean. Again, because, you know, friends who come over want to play the newer stuff on my selection, so, oh, that was bad. Yeah, that slingshot on the right, I think, should be stronger than it is. I think I might have to look into that. I don't think I've replaced that coil, so it could be that. It could be dirty. It could be the coil. Oh, that's okay. And it also could just be that it's getting old. I keep, after every game, I keep reaching to the left to hit the start button, but it's not there. On these 83 Gottliebs, they're down underneath the coin doors. On the right-hand side, which is just not intuitive. It's like all the Bally Williams stuff was always on the left. Yeah, because that coil up there is nice and strong. This one here is pretty weak. Well, that's going to have to get added to the list. So those of you viewers right now who haven't watched me before, I've only been streaming Pin for a little while, and so if you, I'm trying to get up to 50 followers, so if you can hit the follow link at the top of the screen, I'd really appreciate it. I stream most nights, Eastern time from 11, 12 o'clock, usually till 3, 4 in the morning, kind of a night owl. And you can see some of the best of the worst pinball. Not all that great. I'm passionate about it. I got a bunch of machines here in the house and really enjoy Pin. So I still think this side's low. It feels low. I say that and then it right opens. The thing with these older 83 Gottliebs is these flippers are the big chunky flippers. You can't do a lot of tricks with them. They're very kind of limited. They're the old style. There's that 8-ball shot that gives me the chance to reset. I only can score the shots that are blinking, so in some of these cases, I have to either hit that spinner or hit the 8-ball shot to even have a shot to get a point. probably going to bring this game to Fantastic New England, because I know they're not going to have it, because it is an uncommon game. They only made like 1,700 of these, according to the Internet Pinball Database. I think it was, I don't know, I looked it up recently, I think it was like 765 or something. Oh, I hit two-player by accident. And so, you know, it was not a big seller. And Gottlieb's electronics back then were highly unreliable, which I think really hurt their sales in the 80s. They were so late to the solid state market. I mean, this is a System 80 board, so it's not System 1. And this was 80A, technically. The difference between 80A, B, and C is very little. As a board set size, they all use the same driver boards. They all use the same type of system board. So, there we go. I think really the only good thing that's really the soundboards in the System 1 and original System 80A, which was called System 80. Oh, damn it. I didn't even swing at that one. Daria! The soundboards, I mean, think about Black Hole sound. Black Hole sound is pretty bad. I mean, at least this has something of a soundtrack. Rack 'em Up sounds not bad. Now, this does have a new Rotten Dog power supply in it, as well as a new Rotten Dog system board. And the new Rotten Dog system board in this is a multi-board. I mean, you can do everything from Black Hole to Funhouse to Rocky, all of the System 80 games with the board that's in here, which is kind of nice. They're about $225, I think, last time I checked, and they're solid. The system board that was in here didn't have any real problems with it, but I replaced. Oh no, this one did have a problem with it. This had a system board problem that was causing problems on the driver board, which was burning out transistors. Oh, you're kidding me. So as I said before, this machine is missing a small clip up there. This is going to throw all my cameras off to do this. It's missing a small clip up here that holds in that ramp. So as a result, I'll fix the cameras in 1 second, everybody. As a result, it gets stuck sometimes on the going in and out of the 8-ball shop. I have ordered a clip. It came in. Oh my god. Well, that's great. I can take a break. I ordered a clip. It came in, and I don't know where I put it. It's here around the house somewhere. I'm gonna have to find it before I take it to Fantastic, though, because that's really gonna annoy people if it's on the free-to-play floor and the balls get stuck there all the time. I also have to fix that pop bumper light that's flashing. This here and that light. So I need to make a list of all the things I need to do on certain machines. Again, it wasn't a very popular machine, and I think pin enthusiasts would really like the machine. I think it's got good shots in my mind. It's got Good game logic. It's a complicated game. It's not easy, which I think makes it more fun for a heavy pin person. Now, as you can see, I've pretty much filled the rack here. I just need to get the 5 and then the 8. So what I have to do is I have to get this to light up and start blinking my 5 for me. And to do that, I either need to hit the 8 shot or do that. Okay, so now I got a 5 lit. I have to hit the 5, which is drop target or that through lane there. And if I can line this up to shoot that. There we go. So now I've just got to hit the 8 shot. The 8's ball shot's blinking up there, and now I got to get it up there. And it's not an easy shot to get the ball. You can do it this way. You can also bounce it off one of the pop bumpers. But it's not exactly an easy shot to hit. And you have to, you can't backhand it. You have to forward hand it through this door. And the ball drains. I hate that the ball drains off of that. There should be a post there to kick it. I hit 2-player by accident, so it was kind of a waste. I have new drop targets for this as well inside it. I just haven't put them in yet because I'm waiting to find that other clip. But now that I've got a small list of stuff to fix on this, I should probably find that clip for that 8-ball and do the coil and do everything all at once. And I don't know if anybody likes watching streaming of pinball repairs, so I can do that one night. You can listen to me swear at my pinball machine for an hour. For some reason, Gottlieb did not polish parts well, so I cut my hands to smithereens when I'm in the underneath of this. So I guess I'll order some parts from Marco. See if I can get this up to snuff. Or I could just take it to Pintastic as it is. Oh, you think the webcam's capturing audio? Yeah, let me check that real quick. Yep, you are absolutely right. For some reason, my audio is going through my pin camera and not through my audio mixer. So, give me a second. I'll fix that. Go into edit mode. Where is my audio mixer? There it is. And I'll mute that one. Okay, that should be better. How's that, guys? You're right. It popped into my GoPro. I switched my overhead camera to my GoPro because I think the frames and resolution are better. I think the ball will trail less. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't change my mode. So yeah, like I was saying, this machine when I got it was pretty beat to hell, and got it cleaned up, and then started playing it, and then bought another one that I liked more, and never really finished it. So I think this might be a good time to finish it. Now that I'm kind of streaming, to have a little more variety, and it is a fun game. You know, but it was a quarter muncher. I'll tell you that much. This thing, you got to be a pretty good pinball player to get some of these shots. And the wizard mode is anticlimactic, to say the best. You know, we almost just saw it a minute ago, which was literally basically you fill the rack, you get the 8-ball shot, it resets, and you start playing again. And you don't even get a difference in music. At least with Royal Flush Deluxe, the 83 machine next to it, as you get further and closer and closer to getting a Royal Flush on that machine, the music at least speeds up. It's kind of carnival music. I just did.
Oh no.
Oh, it's worse now?
It's worse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I typed it, but you're not reading the screen because you're playing. So.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Here, hold this flipper. Oh, sure. I can just let the ball drain. Don't worry about it. There we go. All right, let me look at my audio. I saw that it's coming through the mixer now. You can barely hear me. How's that? Is that getting better? Oh, why don't you go test that? So, I mean, I can also move the mic closer up to me. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Really appreciate that. I've only been streaming for a short period of time here on Twitch. They have some different achievements. Trying to get up to 50 followers. So anybody in here who's not following me, if you could, I'd really appreciate it. I love these little gamifications within Twitch for, get 50 followers, stream this many days in a month, all of that kind of stuff. And so I've been trying to do my best to stream pretty much daily, and I'm trying to get as many followers as I can. But getting 50 followers is surprisingly hard in a category like pinball. And I think I'm at like 30 something, and so I'm kind of proud of that. That's bad. Yeah, I gotta push that ramp back again too. Damn it. A little scoop. I gotta find that post. It's a tiny little clip, but it's broken. Oh, almost lost that one. What did you say? I just did it. It did it to me.
Yeah, it's much better. It sounded like you were eons away before, so.
Okay.
I'll walk into the screen.
Everybody say hi to my wife, Megan. She's technical directing from upstairs, I guess.
I am.
Are you
just say into the microphone all the problems that you find and rewatch your own stream.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And then you'll know all the things you need.
Yeah, but I'd have to watch the whole stream, which can be hours.
That's true.
Bring me down a piece of paper and I'll write them down so I can fix them.
No, we can do that tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, don't panic. How are you? Told you guys I was going to switch the rig over to a different machine, so I did. Should have picked a different machine because this one's got some problems here, there, and everywhere. And the machine's a little mean at times. I'm going to move the glass again real quick and try to see if I can get this to stay in where it belongs. Don't worry, I'll move all the cameras back. So since streaming last night, my first night streaming, I used the GoPro for the overhead shot, and I wasn't sure about it. So I switched out to one of the other 1080 cameras I have, and I kind of think the GoPro does much better with the action of the ball than the 1080 cameras that everybody else is using, the 922. So I switched it back. So I'm hoping the quality's a little better. To answer your question, how many pins do I have? Let's see. I have Sopranos. I have Sopranos, Addams Family, Funhouse, Royal Flush Deluxe, Rack 'em Up, Soccer, Pro Football. I have a Revenge from Mars and a Star Wars Episode 1. And I have a new one that just came in that's, well, a new old one. Someone just gave it to me. It's a Williams big something that begins with S. Megan, if you're up there, chime in. Big shot. I think it might be Big Shot. It's a 1972 Williams electromechanical one. That one's in really rough shape. That one, if I do, I haven't even it's still in the truck. I haven't even pulled it out of the van yet to try to power it on. Big Star, that's what it is. Big Star, Big Shot. Billy Joel, Big Shot, Big Star, same difference. So, that's horrible. Horrible. The new pinball tripod is still not in yet. Thank you. Yeah, we've been working on it for a while, and been about 3 years, and wish I had more. I wish I had some newer Stern and Jersey Jack, especially Jersey Jack. My wife's not a big Stern fan, and Willy Wonka looks like it's going to be amazing. I want one more than anything, but yeah, with the GoPro, I'm able to do 4K with my GoPro, but it does 1080 at 60 or higher, really nice. Yeah, and 720 at 40 frames. Is that what you're saying? Past that, the frames per second gets blurry. I've noticed that too. It was very blurry last night. I was trying to do 1080 at 60, and it was just pushing it. So I've now got those one here shooting this way and one here shooting at me. So so I'm doing 1080 at 60 all the way around right now, which I think is really nice. I had to do some janky stuff to get the pin camera to look right on the screen. The image is quite a bit bigger, but it looks right on the screen, so that's all I really cared about. I could have futzed with it and got it to work, but I think it looks really good. I gotta play with the layout of how I want to lay out the screen on Twitch here. I haven't had really time to do that yet, but I think I'm trying to work on the quality and getting the frames and everything right with this laptop and get the setup working well, and then I'll start doing fluffy layout stuff for the stream and the screens. Yeah, no, you can change the settings on a GoPro to from wide to linear to narrow. This is actually on narrow right now, and I think that's part of the key of it, because yeah, GoPros really do fisheye, quite a bit. But their electronics are just quality, and they're really durable. And I'm hoping that as I go to more conventions, if I brought a rig or something, the GoPro, they're just so light, and you can run them off a battery, and the batteries in them are pretty good. This is actually plugged in at the moment. But if I was to go to a convention and record, it'd be really nice to be able to have a rig. I'm working on a design for one that I'm probably going to end up custom welding, and it would be nice to have a rig that was all battery, so I wouldn't have to plug in anywhere and try to get under and disturb anything at a trade show. It'd be nice to. Oh, come on! I don't want to keep doing this all night, because that's going to get annoying. I just tilted it by slam, did I think? Yeah, the GoPros are great. Mine's an older one. It's a 5. So it's not the latest version that they have out right now. I keep dropping frames, and I don't know why. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I don't know if anyone else heard that, but Morticia came in, don't torture myself, right after I said I'd drop frames. I don't know why. It's probably because I'm running everything at 60 frames. I have a really good internet connection, though. My internet connection here is, I have a gigabit to my house, and we have 40 up. So I shouldn't be having any problems. But who knows what Megan's doing upstairs, so blame it on her. Love you, honey. Yeah, and the GoPros, they're great. They're so small, they're so compact, they're so durable. I actually bought one because I have a Mini Cooper. I bought a Mini Clubman 3+ years ago, and that's when I bought the GoPro because with the infotainment system, you can actually mount a GoPro outside and control it through that. I didn't buy the overpriced mini mount that they have for it. They have a mount that screws in to like where the tow hook screws into that you can put a GoPro in. I didn't buy that. I bought the industrial suction cup one because I thought it'd be more universal and multitasking as opposed to a unitasker. Alton Brown would be proud. Again, I see there's a bunch of viewers in. For those people who haven't tuned in to me before, I try to be as interactive with chat as possible. So if you have any questions, any topics you want to talk about, want to heckle my horrible playing, go right ahead. I don't take anything personally. The only real rule to that is no hate speech. I don't want to see the N-word or anything about that. No place for that here. But feel free to make comments on my horrible playing and, in this case, the bad maintenance on this one machine. But I kind of wanted to highlight this machine because I like it. I am probably going to sell it this year, but as far as a pin goes, the rule set's really easy to understand. It's pool. Everybody understands pool. I'm surprised it didn't sell better because pool players are really passionate about pool. So I was surprised that less than 2,000 of these were made. But I think it was probably because, there's so many better pool games out there. If there's someone who's in front of a computer that can look up what year 8-Ball Deluxe was made, though, because that's the other really popular pool game that's out there. And if I remember correctly, I think that came out after this. For some reason, I think 8-Ball Deluxe is a 84, 5, or 6. And that game sold like gangbusters. Even with that weird backbox head that it had on it. Those of you who have one know what I'm talking about. They you could use the band hammer if needed. Yeah, I probably if the streams get bigger and we have problems, that's probably exactly what we'll end up doing is add Megan as a moderator. It's a sorry state of affairs with hate speech. I'm just gonna give my reason. 8-Ball Deluxe was 81. Wow, I didn't realize that game was that early. Thank you, Megan. You don't realize how people don't understand the power of the N-word and other hate speech, especially in our younger generations. Here on Twitch, if you go into a first-person shooter and are playing, it's a very toxic community, and I just don't believe in that. So I don't want that here.
I want a community that's accepting. We're all different in different ways, and that's the way we were born, and that's the way we'll die. And I think we just have to know our differences and celebrate them, and just basically all get along. I don't care what anyone's religion is, and what their gender is, what their color is. None of that really bothers me. And I don't think people should be judged on that off the bat. I think we all get judged on who we are as people. And so that's the community I want to build, and that's the community I want to surround myself with. Which is unfortunate because there's a lot of kids playing games on Twitch right now, dropping the N-word and things. It's just ignorance. It really is. Especially for 10, 12, 13, 14-year-olds that don't have any reason to believe that way. Their life experience, they haven't been burned that many times to feel that way yet, in my opinion. But I will get off my soapbox because someone else needs the wood to build a fire or something. I don't know, but and I think the pinball community is really accepting anyway, so I don't think I have to worry about it. But I had some other streamers that I really respect had that on their stream as well, and it kind of was like, yeah, I get that. I agree with that. And if enough of us do it, maybe people will stop talking that way on people's streams. So thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, I keep saying, it's a new stream, new show for me, and I'm really enjoying it. Everything except that damn clip. I need to fix that. Megan, write that down. I should get a piece of duct tape and stick it in here for the night. I'm going to put the lockdown bar on the next ball drain. In this game, that'll be a minute from now, so. Yeah, I will fix the camera. It's in my hand at the moment because I'm holding it in place. Get it. I'm actually just going to pop the glass off in a second and hope that this time I don't shatter it into a million pieces like I did last week. Because if I lose a pane of glass a week, it's going to get expensive fast. So I think the stream will look better without glass on it. Okay. All right. Everybody give me 1 second here. We're gonna put that camera there next to the computer in the stream deck. Put that camera there. Megan, you'll be happy I'm putting the glass inside another pin. Not leaning it against anything this time. While I'm in here, I might as well load some credits up. There we go. Just throw the lockdown bar back on. All right, does that make everybody happy? That should be good. All right, let's finish this ball. Oh, that was horrible. Looks the same without the glass. Good. I'm glad that it doesn't look any different. This is it's a pretty bright game as it is. When I got it, there essentially wasn't a damn single light on the entire playfield, which was kind of interesting. All the bulbs were burnt out on this damn thing. And it had dozens of transistors built up, loaded as well. So, I mean, this, I basically rebuilt the entire driver board. It was in pretty rough shape when we acquired it. You know, I got it up and running, and then we started playing it a little bit, and it wasn't popular around the house here. I think I'm the only one who likes it, and so little things didn't get fixed on it, and I'm noticing them tonight because it's not running as perfect as it should be. Like that I may fix that in a second. The light under the top. So yeah, that makes sense why this didn't. I mean, because 8-Ball Deluxe was so much better of a game than this. It makes sense why. And if that came out in '81, for some reason I thought 8-Ball Deluxe was like '84, but Megan just picked the. Just checked the database and said it was 81, and that does sound right. So this was Gottlieb's answer to 8-Ball Deluxe, obviously, was Rack 'em Up. And it really is a great game. I mean, I'm sure somebody would love to have this in their billiards room. And it is a pinball player's game. I mean, the shots in this are difficult. It's laid out well. I know, that's what I want to do is fix that pop-upper light so badly right now. I gotta do pop bumper caps on here. I gotta make sure I don't break it as I pull it off. Famous last words, right? It needs a minor adjustment. And that minor adjustment involves a screwdriver that I don't have handy. Just so everybody knows, I should probably do a video for this. The pop bumpers are actually very easy to fix. They don't actually, those sockets never go out. You can clean them out with a toothbrush, and if you get a dental pick, which is what this needs, you go under it and pull it up. Over time, they just start to go on you. I did remember to wear sneakers tonight. You know, I'm at this hour of night. I want to be cozy, so I'm usually in pajama pants, and you know, wearing slippers. The problem is the slippers give me no support, and I'm standing on this horrible. We have the worst padding and the worst carpet in the basement. Really should get it replaced, but it's the bottom of the priority list because you have to move everything to get carpet redone. And who really wants to move 10 pinball machines out of the basement just to get carpet? Although I've seen some really interesting carpet that's made me want to replace the carpet down here. I don't know if anybody else has seen these, but they there's a bunch of carpet out there that looks like it's falling into the abyss. Oh, you're saying the pop bumper lights stay on all the time as opposed to most games where they... Yeah, actually, I originally had color changers in there because they do stay on all the time. But then I didn't like the look of it because it just seems so out of place in this game. You know, again, like I said in previous streams, all the lighting in here is LED. Nothing in here. I don't have a single bulb in this one. they're all soft white, which I think is important. I mean, love Todd Tuckey and his crew, they're great people. But Todd really likes to brighten up and LED out these things, and I'm more of a purist when it comes to what they should look like. The designer designed this game a certain way, and they had color bulbs and things back then, and they chose not to use them. Now, that being said, I do mod out games. Things like Addams Family, there's a lot of mods in there. And I think there should be. Because there's elements of the playfield that are dark. There's stuff that they didn't put in. Like, I think they wanted to put in Uncle Fester on the chair, but didn't because they either couldn't afford that toy on the playfield, or they, for the cost, or they couldn't get the licensing for it is another thing. I mean, they may not have been able to license Fester's character. So things like that I like doing. But other than that, I like the original soft look of the game as opposed to the bright white. And those of you guys who don't have pins with both in it, there's a big difference. And I just think this game in particular just looks really nice. And it's plenty bright already. I mean, this is a very bright game. I do have a bright overhead recessed light over it, which also makes it bright. Now that I've taken the glass off, this thing has not locked up once. I got a bulb here that's got problems too. So this is good. I'll get all of these problems fixed in the next few weeks, because I'm gonna probably. This is on the list to go to Pintastic in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Had a phone call earlier tonight with one of the people that helped run the convention, and Megan and I are going to be helping out a little bit. I'm gonna help do some recording of their seminars with some of my gear, which will be fun. And we were talking about next year they're moving to a new hotel, and the possibility of doing some streaming of a new game there. My concept is that I think it'd be really fun to. A lot of people come just for the day, and just to play in the free-to-play room. If you haven't been to Fantastic New England, it's a great show. Day passes are $20. Get you into the vending hall, the free-to-play room, and all the seminars. So it's a great deal. $20 for the day to get access to 400 plus machines in the free-to-play room. It's fantastic. And their seminars are usually good. They really hold their presenters to a nice high standard. But the hotel they're in right now is a bit old and dated, and is not well maintained. So we're really close on this one to getting the rack filled. So we need to highlight the 2. If we highlight the 2 spot here, and we hit this shot, the only shot we need to make is the 8-ball, and that is when the game does the reset. So let's, before we even move, let's get the 2 blinking. I'm not going to touch the flippers until it rolls over something. Now all we have to do is hit a 2. I have to get it back there now because I would have just dropped the 2 if I hadn't run it through the spinner. So now we got to get the spinner or an 8-ball shot to be able to change what's blinking to get it back there again. Now the cool thing that we could do, just got an extra ball out of that. The cool thing we could do is try to, when that thing over here says add 1 solid, if I can try to hit that again. Okay, here we go. We're back to the 8-ball shot. So I can, as long as this doesn't go through a spinner, and I can hit either the 2 drop down or the 2 lane. Oh, of course 8-ball shot again. I'm going to leave it on the 2. Oh, wow. Ah! I tilted it. Alright. This game ends when you tilt, by the way. So you just lose your ball when you tilt. And it just drains. Which is annoying. I thought the game ended, and I'm glad it doesn't. Don't go through my spinner. I didn't want you to do that. Okay. So this is really our last ball. The odds of us getting another extra ball is pretty slim. Okay, so we got the 2. Now all we have to do is make that 8-ball shot. There we go. So that was rack 1. Now the goal is to get rack 2. Now, considering this is our last ball, I actually have no idea what the special is. So I got a special lit on my left out lane. No idea what the special is. 1.2 million is a decent score on this game, actually. Just because the game is so... what they should have done on this game to make it more player-friendly, and I wish there was a setting for this, would have been to reset the drop targets when you get a lane change. So when I'm able to change lanes, I should have the drop target should have reset, because what you have to do then is, let's say this 13 was already down when it came here. I'd have to clear the other 2 to reset that, and resetting all 4 of those isn't always easy. Good news is whoever's on right now, you probably saw what is the best game of the night on this one. Because I don't play this very often, and hey.
Hi, I'm moving your cameras.
Oh. We will have a rig for everything.
Is it reading everything? Yeah. Where's the one for your head? Over here?
It's all the way up there.
That's better.
Alright, 1.6 million is the score to beat for tonight. So there we are. Hey viewers, those of you who just popped in and joined, relatively new to streaming pinball on Twitch, only been doing it for less than a week here. Trying to get to 50 followers. So any of you guys who aren't following and you enjoy what you're seeing, it doesn't cost you anything. Just hit that heart above on the top of the screen and follow me. I'd really appreciate it. Twitch has gamified certain things in the stream, and there are achievements essentially, and one of them is getting 50 followers. And so I'm really trying to hit that achievement, and I kind of set myself a personal goal to do it in the first 10 days of this account, streaming on this account. And the first stream I did was last Thursday, so I'm hoping to have 50 followers by the end of the weekend. And so any goal to get me there, any way you can help me get there is great. I really appreciate it. Those of you guys who are in here who are already followed, you know I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much, Pez. Appreciate that. And those of you who are already following and are coming back night after night, I hope I'm entertaining enough. I haven't seen a couple of the other regulars that come in here. Warlock, you're here. Irish Eyes went to bed early, I guess. Damn.
Well, they graduated today, didn't they?
No, that was earlier.
Oh, that was earlier this week.
My wife Megan is moving cameras around for me.
Oops, I may have just screwed that up.
Whatever.
No, that's better.
I'll be getting better and better gear as time goes on. I like shopping on Amazon, so I it won't be long before I'm ordering extra clips and things to make the stream rig perfect.
So what's wrong with this light?
I think there's. See how it's just up brighter? The connection on that one's bad. And I know what the problem is. It's actually a very, very simple problem. This playfield was not made for these LED lights, and these LED lights are a little bit bigger.
Oh,
so it's
right.
just barely making the connection. What I need to do is put something in the socket, or take the socket out, drill the hole a tiny bit bigger, because it literally is microscopically bigger. If you tap it...
You're not going to wreck the playfield, right?
No. Okay, that'll be fine. But I think I can either, from the bottom, try to get the socket to come up more, or something.
You could probably take these off when you're filming, and it would...
Take the pop bumpers off?
No, take the lights out, or unplug them.
Well, I think the real lighting
they're
problem...
super bright on
I
there.
think it's these.
Well, yeah, those.
Those are the bright ones. I could throw a resistor in line. That'd be the easiest thing, but I have to look at the GI score.
Yeah, no, that requires work.
Everything in these things require work. Those of you who don't own pinball machines, they always require work. I'm going to warn you.
I'm wearing my cool shirt.
So Megan's actually wearing the shirt from the hot dog place that's next to where Pintastic New England currently is. I have this great idea. I don't know, chat, tell me if you think this is a good idea or not. So I have this. I always have stupid ideas, and like I said,
a lot of ideas.
I have a lot of ideas. And some of them are occasionally good. And like I said a few minutes ago, you can say whatever you want. Criticize my thoughts, criticize my playing. Go right at it, chat. So I was driving in the car the other day, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be great to have a hot dog joint that was called
Graveyard Dog.
I know, she's giving me this smirk over here. You guys can't see it.
I know what the story is.
So I'm going to call it Graveyard Dogs. And what we're going to do is going to get a hearse. We're going to have the whole unit pull out of the back of a hearse, and that's where all the steam tables and the grill and everything will be. So it'll be great. Come on, somebody in chat agree with me. It's cute. Kitschy sells. Kitschy sells.
There's actually on the Chronicle the night before was a really good Chronicle that we were supposed to watch on Monday. There's a cute little town in New York that is very kitschy.
Unique, Pez. I like that. Unique. That's a good word for it. I don't know. It's one of these things. Is like if you were driving down the street and you see the hot dog vendor. So what made me think of this is, do you want to play a two-player by accident? I know you hate this game, but...
I mean, it's not my favorite game, and I didn't shower or anything.
Well, you've walked past the camera a dozen times already. So hop on. We'll play two-player quick. So, So yeah, it's one of these things. Like in our town, we live in southern New Hampshire, and there is a really nice public park in town, and there's always a hot dog vendor sitting out in front of it. And it's just like the little hot dog cart that gets pulled behind his car, and that's what made me think of it. It was.
That was not what made you think of it.
No, but that type of thing's what made me think of it. A little hot dog vendor, and I'm like, what if you built everything into the back of a hearse and called it Junkyard Dog or Graveyard Dogs? And like that'd be kitschy enough that people, if you were driving down the road and you saw a hot dog vendor vending out of the back of a hearse, you'd take a second thought, and if you wanted a hot dog, you'd definitely stop. And sometimes that's all it takes. Not that I want to go out and be a hot dog vendor. I mean, well, I wouldn't mind owning a small business like that. I'm not judging that business whatsoever. What I'm judging is the fact that you have to get up in the morning, which is something I just don't like doing.
Yeah, and you'd have to be open at like 10:30.
Exactly. I'd have to be open in the morning. Dead body hot dogs is what I would think of. All right, Warlock, you're right. Okay, maybe. You're right, because hot dogs are made from the unmentionable parts of a pig, so...
yeah, we don't need Soylent.
Yeah, Soylent hot dogs would be a bad idea. All right, maybe it's not a great concept. jobs like, businesses like that usually do relatively well. And I was just thinking the kitchen factor would be cute. And we had a friend who had a hearse, so
Not anymore.
we sold it.
It needed a lot of work.
It needed a lot of
It was
work.
basically a giant fort for them to hang out in, not an actual drivable car.
Yeah, it was not a drivable car. But
Isn't that my turn?
it is now.
Oops, well, it's your turn already, so.
Give me 1 second. Oh, I can't change the bit rate while we're streaming. Damn it.
Wow. Yeah, no.
I was going to drop the bit rate down a little bit.
Nope.
Just because I'm dropping some packets and I don't know why. I think the network switch down here needs to be rebooted.
Go.
We never reboot any of the switches.
I'm surprised you don't already have them on like an automatic reboot.
There's only 2 of them that can do that.
You know, I'm not the technology person, so.
Excuse me, everybody. My allergies are still driving me crazy. Much better than last week. Those of you who watched me last Thursday or Friday saw me in probably the worst voice I've ever had in my life. Just because the allergies up here in New England have been miserable this year.
Pretty sure there was a cherry tree the other day, but.
Cherry tree? That's what I thought.
Pretty sure.
They look like cherry blossoms. Alright, so we got a 2 and a 15, and a 14 we
I
need to
only
get.
have 3 lit up. I'm not gonna win.
It's okay.
This game's hard.
This game's hard in general. I think I'm glad that's why you played it. Is because I actually have been doing surprisingly well playing it today.
Yeah, you filled the whole rack today, which
Yeah.
is unusual.
Which is unusual, and I didn't cheat.
Yeah, you only nudged a couple times, and mostly it was to get the ball to move, and then it still didn't work.
I wasn't even talking about the nudging cheating. I was talking about the... it's so tempting when you're playing this with the glass off to grab it to save it.
No. Oh, that's no.
Well, I'm glad you're looking forward to watching more Pez. Yeah, I'm trying to stream every day. I'm currently out of work. I usually do director of software type work, working in cloud computing and DevOps type stuff. And between jobs at the moment, and got some good interviews. But I'm really kind of a night owl. And one night I was watching Twitch and I was looking for people playing pinball and no one was. And I had a couple cameras and decided that, hey, I'm going to go try to stream some pinball. And lo and behold, a bunch of viewers came on. And some of you guys, I'm hoping that if I ever get to travel around the country, we get to meet up sometime. Because seem to have made some good friends already in just a week. And do you want to play again? Or?
No, I'm good.
And so I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Royal Flush.
Yes, Megan and I will do doubles on Royal Flush one night. That
All
sounds
night.
Yeah, all night. Sure, we love that game. It's a very simple game. Another game that's
A good beginner game.
It's a good beginner game.
It's a good beginner game. We taught the kids how to play on this one.
Yeah, and those of you who are really in with have kids, pinball is a great thing to teach kids. We had Megan's friends' kids over. We were babysitting, or she was babysitting for a weekend, and
especially kids that are tactile and or hyper focused.
You should move on this side because the mic's
whatever. Sorry. Especially kids that are tactile and visual learners, as well as anyone who hyper focuses. So people with autism, people with ADHD, it just gets them going. Their brain just thinks that way already, and it's something that a lot of them excel at. There's a reason why there was a play about it, a musical about it. Now I can't remember the name of the musical. It's famous.
Someone in chat might know. Pez, thanks for the luck on the job. I've got a phone screen with someone next week that it's a company in Cambridge that everybody there on the executive team is from Harvard and MIT. It's just, I'm a little intimidated. I know I'm good enough for the position. I know I can can do the job, but I don't have a Harvard or MIT degree. And I'm hoping that they're realizing that that they need some diversity there in their staff to be able to see different viewpoints. So I'm hoping that's why they're bringing me in. But
yeah, just a different perspective based on life experience.
Life experience, I got too much of it. I'm getting more of every day.
Yes, I'm thinking of Tommy the Musical. I mean,
I told you someone would.
I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
I've never seen it, but it has some really good songs in it.
Oh.
And I used to listen all the time to the one of the local stations around here, WERS from Emerson, has musicals Saturday and Sunday mornings that they do just for like 4 hours. It's all musical songs, so I've been exposed to a lot more musicals than I've seen in my life.
Oh, that's interesting, Warlock. We have quite a few friends with Asperger's, quite a few friends with kids with autism, and one of the people on the board of directors of the Makerspace that I was part of for many, many years has a son on the spectrum as well. And great kid. Ben's a good kid. I bumped the keyboard, I think.
You did a little bit.
It's funny to look at the back glass on this while I'm adjusting the back glass camera. You got two guys with stogies and bending over a pool table. It's very it's very Gottlieb. I have to give it that.
It reminds me of The Sting, the movie.
I don't know that one.
Oh, such a good movie. It's a movie that was made in the 70s but set during the mid-30s, and it's just gangster style is just amazing.
She's kicking the butt again. So I think the score was still 1.6 million is the score it beat tonight, right? I don't think
Oh, does this one save it?
Only if you get the high score, but the default high score is higher than the score I can get.
Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to go fight with Photoshop or not. I'm thinking that 2 o'clock in the morning is a bad time to fight with Photoshop.
If you go up and you want to come back down, it's great to get 7.
A what?
Like 7.
I mean, okay. I might think about it.
I would appreciate it. And are my sheets done?
Yes, yours are, mine are not. I forgot to turn on the washing machine for mine.
If you're grabbing an Excedrin, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
Dim this light a little bit. I think that's what's causing it.
Causing what? The brightness?
Yeah. No. The little bit of headache I'm getting is. I don't think it's the sound of this. I think it's that light's pretty bright right in my field of vision. So.
Oh, so you said your allergies are...
Yeah. Well, I've been taking my allergy meds. I've been taking all my meds. I have this weird. I woke up this morning with this weird bite. Yeah, that's it.
That was it?
Yeah, keep going. All the other ones are off. I have the other 3 over here off, so it's the only one that's turned on.
Oh.
No.
No, I was on that one. It didn't
Oh yeah.
do
The slider didn't pull it down.
No, nothing.
Turn it off. Yeah, no, you're using that one. It's,
Yeah. Oh, okay. What is
no, it's on the bottom bank.
Why would it be on the bottom bank?
Because these 4 are on the bottom and those 4 are on the top.
Okay.
Oh, it doesn't go the way, they're not in order.
I get it.
There you go.
Is that better? That's as low as it goes.
That's perfect. And that looks fine on the stream. It's still plenty bright. Thank you.
I'm gonna get used to multiple things.
So, yeah, Chad, I woke up this morning. I won't like give a big zoom in, but this giant bug bite right here at the crux of my elbow, and it was big, and so I'm so paranoid that there's like a spider in my bed that we stripped the entire bed and are washing all the sheets and blankets and everything. So I know they went into the washer. I wanted to make sure that they got into the dryer because I you know, after this I'm gonna go to bed and I don't want to wait 2 more hours for the dryer. Of course, one of my friends that I talked to today was like, "Well, I hope you don't have bed bugs." And I'm like, "No, I have a mattress that can't have bed bugs." You know, and I haven't stayed in any hotels lately, anyway. So. Went wedding dress shopping with my best friend today. She found the dress for her wedding for next year, which is great. It looks fantastic on her. Can't wait for the big day. My wife Megan and I are both in the wedding. It's going to be a small wedding. You know, my friend Karen has not been married before, but her fiance Chuck has. And, you know, Chuck's a little older than Karen, but Karen's the same age as me, 42, so not making a big deal, don't want to spend a lot of money on a wedding, which I completely agree. But she did find a very nice dress that fits her beautifully, and it's just perfect for her. So really excited for that. Really excited for them. They live here in the same town with us, which makes it even better. Chuck, if I ever, I almost saved that one. If I ever actually start live streaming my Saturday night poker games, Chuck's one of the players of that, and he has a dad sense of humor, so it's very entertaining to ride. And he is thoroughly addicted to poker. He plays poker 3 times a week, all very low stakes home games, but he loves them. Did you bring me a drink, or is that your drink?
It's your drink. Not drink
Okay.
sparkly.
I have a drink, but I'll take the water.
Sparkly water is weird. I was gonna put it behind you.
Oh, perfect.
Unless,
Yeah.
I forgot my tea was down here.
I don't have any other facts about this game. I didn't look up who made it. I mean, who designed it.
Shouldn't it say it on the bib?
No, this generation of Gottliebs, they didn't.
Please hold.
And that's something else.
Who's the best for that?
What Internet Pinball Database? The abbreviation for that. .org. I know it for the newer ones. I don't know it for these ones. Ugh, I thought that was gonna bounce for us, guys. Thought that was gonna bounce. So, Pez, are you still on? I don't think you've tuned in before. I don't know what kind of part of the country you're from.
They were going to bed.
Oh, Pez was going to bed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He said goodnight to them.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
And he said he did the job, and then they told me it was Tommy.
Yep. So if there are any new viewers that signed on, yeah, I really like people talking in chat. You can talk trash about my pinball. This game's surprisingly harder than it looks. Very simple rule set, but the shots are laid out, and just the way that the pop bumpers don't reset the way I would like them to, and some other things makes it really hard to get there. Wearing my my Deadpool shirt tonight, even though I don't have a Deadpool pinball machine yet. Maybe someday. When
I want to meet Ryan Reynolds. I love him.
When I'm rich and famous, we'll have every pin in the house. Well, they won't be in the house. They'll be in the giant metal building near the house. Right, honey?
Yeah. Designed by John Burris.
Never heard of him.
Art by David Moore. John Burris also did the software.
John Burroughs and David Moore, two people I've never heard of.
I'm seeing what else.
What else
they've done.
Yeah, and again, Gottlieb was really late to the party when it came to solid state. You know, Bally's and Williams, and
okay. He did a lot. 30 records match.
Wow.
He did Monte Carlo.
Oh, yes, I did.
Game.
All right, good.
Pink Panther. He did Black Hole. He was one of the co-designers on.
I'm gonna save this ball for a second, guys, because I'm cheating, but we're gonna just do that real quick. Because I totally just bumped that. We'll bounce it off this post, just like it was a second ago.
I can't believe they tried to make another. There's oh no, that's bowling. Obviously it's late for me. There's one called Strikes and Spares, and I was like, oh, I can't believe they made another pool game after how few they did this.
Strikes and Spares was a good game. Yeah, I mean, this was obviously Gottlieb's attempt to compete with 8-ball, which, I mean, after playing 8-ball pool, this game was never going to compete with 8-ball pool, I'll admit that. But the shots are laid out nicely. I'm going to put the original new old stock, actually they're not new old stock, they're new reproduction drop targets. I have them. This is what should be on the game. I'll pull them out. It should be these blue ones all here and up there.
You might need to move it closer to the camera.
Well, I could just try to see. So that's what should be on the game. Well, I just did it to this game.
Yeah, but you have to put like your hand behind it, or else it doesn't do the thing.
I saw it. Okay. So I've got them. They're in here, ready to go. I just haven't put them in yet. Oh, I forgot I have slam on this one.
And sometimes you'll see us bickering about stupid things. Things that don't matter.
I was so close to finishing that rack, too. I just reset the game because I opened the door. I forgot the slam switches on this, so I should disable that. When I got this machine, the coin door wiring had been completely cut out. Someone who was obviously chasing an electrical problem, and their answer to it was, oh, I'll just take it apart. And they never put it back together. So, fortunately, you know, we didn't pay too much for this one, which is good.
It needed a lot of work.
Needed a ton of work. And,
I mean,
it still needs a little.
Well, you're gonna record all that stuff while you're working on it, right? Partially, anyway.
Partially. I don't know if it's gonna be interesting. Is the thing. I mean, the stuff that I'm fixing on this is definitely listing that way a little bit. Even though my app says it's not. Some of the problems on this machine aren't particularly interesting. You know. I mean the light, the guide chute, the slingshot. I'll probably do the slingshot because those slingshot mechanisms are interesting how they put them together. Although I don't think I'm going to take the mech apart because I'll probably just use a coil.
Oh yeah.
No, we'll see.
Show people how to troubleshoot their own machines. I mean, the project machine is gonna be.
I don't know. It might work. You never know.
Once we change the rubbers on it.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna figure out if it works before we put the rubbers on. But it's going to need rubbers anyways. I mean, the machine was so dry that the rubbers are actually cracked and falling off. So, actually, you know, I probably will record. Oh, I screwed that
Or
up.
at least record it.
I'm going to definitely record part of fixing this machine because a lot of people don't know how to adjust the drop targets on.
Now that we screwed this camera up.
On a machine like this. Because there is an adjustment there that you need to make so they drop right.
Oh, it's going to be nice when the real ones are in.
Yeah, no, this machine will look really nice with the right stuff. Warlock, are you still on, or have you logged off? Ooh, come on, bounce! Oh, you were supposed to bounce. I don't know if he's... Oh, you're still there. How old's your wife's son? And do you have any kids? Children for a multitude of reasons. She gets baby crazy every so often. I have to remind her no. Alright, I'll read your response in 1 second once I capture this ball. Alright, so her son is 12, and your daughter's 13, and then you guys have a daughter together who's 5. Very cool. Those are 12 and 13 are interesting ages. 5 is a fun age. We kind of have a 5-year-old. We have a pug, and he is a perpetual toddler. He's a good boy, though. He really is. He tries. Yeah, there was a point in my life where I thought I wanted kids, and then decided against it. And I don't know, to date I haven't regretted it yet, but Megan would really like that kid. Well, Megan is a kid, so that explains why. Who am I talking about? I have a bunch of pinball machines in my house. I'm a big kid too, so. And it's amazing. Once you get into pinball, and I have avoided the video arcade game bug. Everybody.
We have 2 in our garage.
We have 2 in our garage, and they. I need to work on them. That's something I'll probably document, that journey, because that's going to be all new to me. Everything in it's going to be new. We also have 2 coin pushers called Bank It.
Yeah.
And so you flip the coin up, and it goes through a
basketball
hoop, and then it pushes the coins out. Those were given to us when Friends Arcade shut down. Megan and I both like coin pushers. I want to get a more classic one.
But these were free.
But these were free, and they need a little work. They need new optic sensors, which aren't hard to replace. I bought I found the manual online and bought it, so that I could get the parts list to figure out what type of optic sensors should be in it. Still haven't worked on those yet. The problem with all 4 of those is I can't get any of them down here in the basement game room because
they wouldn't fit.
They won't fit down the bulkhead or through the doors into this room. So we don't know what we're going to do with them. All 4 of them were given to us, though. The 2 video games came from a friend who worked at Warner Brothers with me. He was moving across the country, and you know, kind of, he and I get along really well. We're kind of the same mindset. And he was like, "Yeah, I think these belong with you. Take them." It's like, if you can get them out of here, they're yours. And so
one's a Rampage.
Xavius or something. Xavius or something. I've never played either of the games, so I don't know if the...
It's technically pronounced Xevious, but it starts with an X.
Yeah, Xavius. Someone had to spell it phonetically for me in chat the other day because I didn't know. So I'd like to get him working just for the challenge of it, but don't know what I'm ever going to do with him because I don't think you want them in the living room. Nope. But we do have a slot machine, and we do have a jukebox, because those are the next logical things you end up getting when you have pinball machines. So those of you who don't have pins but dream and aspire to have one no matter what it is, and I will say this, you should, if you're a pin lover, you should aspire to have something. Even if it's an old one, even if it's not the ideal one, get something, learn about it, and you can always trade up later.
We collect a lot of coin mech stuff, though.
And yeah, because I like doing all this stuff.
Tissue dispensers, stamp dispensers, cash registers.
Yeah. Candy machines, stamp machines, sticker machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've always kind of liked doing that stuff. I see we got a few more viewers that popped in. Welcome. Feel free to talk in chat. I try to read them as they come in while I'm playing, which is sometimes really entertaining. Enjoy the stream. I've only been streaming for about less than a week. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. So if you like what you see and you're a person who wants to watch someone play pinball late at night, I'm on the East Coast, so it's about 2 a.m. here. Customarily streamed for the last week from about, 11:30, about 11 o'clock to about 3, 4 in the morning, depending how I'm doing. Tonight we're playing 1983 Gottlieb Rack 'em Up. It's a solid state game. Very low produced. Megan, would you still have the IPV screen up? I was wondering how many it was. I think it was like 17 and some change, 1765 or something if these were produced. So it was a very low run game.
Yeah, almost 1800, but not quite.
Yeah, and it's a fun game. It's just one of many I have here in the house. It's definitely a pinball player's game, though. It's not a casual player's game by any stretch of the imagination. The rule set's easy to understand, but some of the mechanics in the game loop is a little tough. I could have hit that.
It would make a nice tournament game, though.
I think it would. This one's
because it's you really have to know.
You have to know your shot.
Know the game, and how it plays to achieve everything.
Yeah.
You can't just, bear ramp it the whole time.
That's very true. The bear ramp joke, for those of you who aren't regular pinball players, is a joke at the game that I was playing yesterday, which is everybody's favorite. The 22,000 were made, Adam's Family. And I have shown people on a couple occasions that you can get to the wizard mode with doing very little other than hitting one ramp over and over and over again. Because if you keep hitting that ramp, you keep getting extra balls, you keep getting mansion spots spotted, and it just, if you master about 4 shots in that game, you really can win the game very easily. Oh, my main pin cam's frozen. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. I will I'll take a look at that right now. I wonder what happened.
Oh, that's weird.
I wonder where to start diagnosing this.
Well, it's not our internet, so that's good.
No, it's this camera.
Oh, did the battery get too hot?
No, it's fine.
No?
It's cool and fine. All right, everybody, give me 1 second, and we'll take a look at this.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah, I know. Looks like it went to sleep on me. I've set it so that it won't go to sleep.
Well,
It's plugged in. Why would it have powered down? Well, I'm gonna pull the camera real quick.
well, no one can see anyway that you're doing
Yeah,
anything
yes,
because it's
that's true.
frozen.
That's true. I'm gonna pop the battery out and switch the battery. Maybe it's not running off the power adapter.
Like it should be.
Yeah. Alright. 1 second, kids. We'll be back to having fun. I just need to make sure that put it on narrow like it's supposed to be. And now I just have to stay on narrow. Oops. I think I put it in upside down. There we go. This is the one problem with using a GoPro up here is they do tend to
Do
get
weird
quirky
things.
on you. No, I don't know if it's come back or not. That's the problem. No, I'm gonna have to sit down and
Oh, well,
fix it
you
real
have fun
quick.
with that.
So everybody just hold on, give me a sec. I will, yeah, that's definitely frozen. We will remove the pin camera. We will re-add the pin camera really fast.
Good plan.
It's not letting me add anything. Yeah, I pulled it right off the screen already, but it's not letting me re-add the camera. Oh, I know why. Okay, that's why. I had a window open. Pin, new source, switch to that.
There you go.
There's the cam camera.
Why is it sideways?
Because I have to rotate it, and I'm not even gonna plug it in. I'm just gonna just do what I did last time, which is just position it really quick.
Drop me to move that while you.
No, I'm just gonna get it.
Fun and exciting times in learning how to stream.
Oh, the audio's back on the camera again. Okay, I'll fix that.
Oh my goodness.
Now, maybe that's the one problem with
The GoPro.
the GoPros is it should shut off on me. It's weird. Alright, let me get the whole play field in here. There we go. So that's that. Hold to resize.
Ooh.
Pin camera looks like it's back up. Let me fix the audio, as you mentioned. No, audio's still coming through the audio mixer. Let me shut off.
Audio, and that should just be the one audio source now. So we should be back to where we should have been a couple minutes ago. Sorry about that, everybody. So I should be live here again. Don't know why that froze up that way, but it happens.
We're learning.
Gonna have to figure out why the GoPro does that. I just really like using the GoPro because they do such great with fast motion. So, so thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, you had a lot of artifacts on.
Yeah, I was using I was using the 922s, the Logitech 922s, and I just didn't like the way that the motion worked on it at 1080. And I really want to stream 1080 at 60 across the board. And
Yeah, it
so,
had comet tails.
yeah, and so the GoPro, I have an older GoPro. It's the 5 Black. It does 4K, but it streams 1080 at it'll do 1080 at like 160 frames. I'm doing it at 60 because I don't think we need 160 for this. So I'm gonna have to figure out why it's shutting off sometimes, because it did that once before. That I only used it that first night. I just switched it back tonight. So, thanks so much for letting me know. Yeah, the viewers, I know some of you guys have heard this already, but I've only been streaming for less than a full week now. My first stream was last Thursday. Trying to get to 50 followers as quick as I can. Twitch has all these achievements you can unlock, and one of them is to get 50 followers, and I want to do that. I'm trying to get it in 10 days. Kind of set myself a personal goal of 10 days. So if you like what you're seeing, I stream usually later at night, 11, 12 o'clock East Coast time until 3, 4 in the morning. If you don't mind, clicking that little heart up above, doesn't cost you anything. It's not a subscription. It's just a favorite. And you can have as many of those as you like. I'd really appreciate it because it'll get me that achievement unlocked, which I want. The next achievement after that I want is going to be a little harder to get, which is going to be average 75 simultaneous viewers. I think I'm a ways off from that one. Maybe someday. Maybe if I start going and streaming at big conventions and doing huge pin reveals or something, that would happen. There are some other minor achievements in there, but that's the next major one. But I'm really trying to get this one,
Well, SF Pin was on earlier when you were streaming.
Yeah.
And you have the same amount of viewers they had earlier, so I mean, hey, that's the San Francisco Pinball Club. They had a cute logo.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on a cute logo for me, and an open. The problem is no one ever watches the open of pinball things. It's really only going to be useful if I really do stuff on YouTube. Because
can you put it on your starting soon screen?
Yeah, I can, but no one ever watches that. People usually log in the middle.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you need to figure out your emotes. Yeah, I can't have emotes until I make this next level, which is part of the reason why I want to do it. I'm trying to make that next thing. Well, I mean, I'm going by Pinball Princess. My nickname's Princess. My car license plate is Princess. Everything about me is Princess. That's the way Megan refers to me most of the time. So, my emotes, I'm sure going to do a princess crown and some other things. I do like the flippers and butts ones that he has. I think his are funny. I think he's funny, anyways. I haven't had the chance to meet him. He doesn't come out to this part of the country much. And his
Where's
wife,
he from?
Chicago.
Oh, he's a Chicago guy.
And I asked him if he was coming to Pintastic, and he got invited to come, but he can't make it because his wife's pregnant. Good to see him there.
I mean, we can always go to Chicago.
We can always go. I want to go to one of the Chicago shows someday and tour the Stern factory. And,
They do tours?
Yeah.
Why have you not told me this? I love that stuff.
I know. How it's made, Pinball Machine Edition.
I love that show. I miss it. It used to be so good. And then other people tried to copy it and it just wasn't the same.
See, that slingshot's just weak.
Which one?
Here, I'll show you. This one here. It just doesn't have the bounce that it should.
Well, they look like they're pretty, yeah, the little thing that's supposed to hit it back isn't moving very much.
Yeah, which makes me think the coil has probably got something wrong with it. I'll check that.
Let me take a video. Figure out how to do that.
Take a drink.
I'm gonna take a Oh, I have to make sure your hand's not in... Well, my hand's in the way. Sorry, folks. There we go.
What are you gonna do?
You want to test that thing? I want to... so I can show you what it does.
Yeah.
But you have to do it on the other side so I can... Yeah. Do it again. No, it's not.
I'll figure it out when I do it. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
No, I got a good video. I just don't know if it's slow enough. Yeah, you have to hit it like just right,
Yeah, it
or
shouldn't
else
be
it
that
doesn't spring right. I don't know.
Because that other one on the opposite side shoots it across the damn table.
Yeah, that one's super weak. I just think the thing in the middle is, or a connection down below isn't quite right.
No, it's probably the coil. It's probably the coil.
Yeah.
It's probably just old.
We have some of those somewhere.
If you don't own pinballs, you'll understand that if it ain't broke, you don't fix it until it's actually broken.
Facts.
And the simple reason behind that is because you'll chase your tail all day long and you'll spend a lot of money for nothing. So unless a coil is actually blown or going weak, I did test all the coils before I ordered them for this machine, and all the resistance was good back then, but we've moved since then and we're now in the basement. And
We didn't have this at the old house.
no, I mean we moved them down
Oh,
here
okay.
from up. They've
Yeah.
moved, not we've moved.
Okay. Whew. I'm like, have we?
No, I wish I had pins at the old house. I would have got rid of that pool table and filled that back room. Now, the one thing I wish I had was more analytics from Twitch to know where people are watching me from. You know, I have no idea where anybody's from, and I actually don't know, unless you guys say something in chat, I don't know who's on. I think that's weird. I think Twitch should give me a little bit of analytics of where people are from. I mean, I know not to do usernames.
Oh, you can't just click on viewers and it pop people up?
I don't think so. You can try it. I don't think
No, it doesn't.
No.
I just can't.
And I think that's weird because I wish I knew where everybody was from because, you know, I could, and I'm sure they know, but
Of course they know.
I could give you guys, you know, references to places that I might know in your area that have good pins. I mean, you guys can also just look them up on Pinside, but when traveling, I always find places to play pinball. Like even I like casinos. I like gambling. But even at casinos,
They usually
have you know, like the ones near us. There's 2 Indian casinos down in Connecticut. Both of them have pinball machines. There's actually a poker place, Boston Billiards Casino here in Nashua, New Hampshire. They actually have a pinball. It's not any good. They don't maintain it very well.
Well,
Because
they used to just be a pool hall.
It used to just be a pool hall, yeah, with a tiny little arcade there. But I think, you know, just seeing pins on Pinside don't really tell you anything. I think first-hand experience tells you. Yeah, there's some analytics there in the dashboard. You're not. I'll show you what
Yeah,
it is. After
I know.
drain this
I'm
ball.
on the wrong thing.
Yeah, you have to go to the web browser, and actually, if you just open the web browser right now,
Yeah.
it's on that page. Where's my mouse?
I can do it.
I know. I know you can.
Oh, there we go.
And
Moving
then if you
hand.
go to analytics, you can go stream summaries and that kind of stuff. I don't think there's anything in there about.
Well, that's probably a safety thing, really.
Yeah. And so yeah, I kind of just like to know where, you know, if anybody, you know, has an area that they're in. Maybe I've been there. Maybe I know a place that has good pins. And for me, a good pin is not just. I think every pin's a good pin. First off, I will say that. Even the games I hate the most, that's got to be somebody's favorite pin, right? And so that was not a bad game actually, but it wasn't a high score. You know,
I know that.
players.
Oh, tough cookies.
You know, for me a good pin is one that's well maintained. You know, and like Megan and I went to a place in Massachusetts that we wanted to play the new
Star Wars?
No, it wasn't Star Wars. It was when we went to Atlas. Atlas down in that arcade that has the indoor golf cart. I'll tell you in a second. Hang on. We wanted to play the new. It was either Guardians or it was.
Guardians was good.
I think we wanted to play the new Guardians, and I found a place in Marlborough, Mass. That it's a big sports type complex.
Is it Apex? Hold on, I'm gonna look it up.
Extensions for viewer country. I'll have to, Warlock. I'll look at that. But I think it was Guardians we wanted to play. We hadn't played Guardians yet. We wanted to play that. And we found a place.
Apex Entertainment.
And they have, it's an arcade, ticket pusher and that kind of stuff. They have indoor go-karts. That's in a laser tag, and they now have axe throwing, which I think is the most ridiculous.
And a rope course.
And a rope course. The rope course looks kind of cool too. But they had the Star Wars pin there. They had the Guardians, and they had one more, all newer Stern pins, and I think the Star Wars one was broken.
We couldn't even get anyone to service it.
Yeah,
load our money back.
And so, that's always really disappointing when you go someplace and you expect there to be, 3 pins and one's broken and one's half working. So for me, a good pin is one that's working correctly. So at the moment, I guess this definition of a good pin is this is not a good pin. Because this one's not working correctly. And I don't think perfect is the right... I don't think you ever have
Almost
a perfect
none
pin.
of them are going to be perfect. Especially if they're in an establishment.
Yeah.
That's just...
I mean, you get a metal ball bouncing around hitting things. Stuff's going to break. That's just...
We could go to Fun Spot.
Even there, not everything's working.
Oh, I'm aware. But they might...
We're lucky up here in New Hampshire.
They might let you stream, maybe.
Oh, maybe. We're lucky up here in New Hampshire where we were luckier when Pinball Wizard was open. Unfortunately, that closed. We have some places up here, and we're really close to Massachusetts. Boston has some places that have some really good pins. Some barcades. And we have a little bit of a boardwalk in Hampton Beach, New Hampshire as well.
I haven't been there in a long time.
I'm wondering if I stick this in the middle.
No, it just is...
Let me see if I can tip this camera.
Well, that's what I was doing, and it didn't just be difficult.
Let's try that. See if
Can you even see that?
Yeah.
You
I think you can see the whole score.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. The first digit of the score is probably not going to light up for a long time. So we're lucky up here. I know other parts of the country are even luckier. I mean, Chicago, there's a ton of places in that area. If you're ever in the San Francisco area and you're, looking to spend an afternoon someplace, the Pacific Pinball Museum in Alameda. You can get to Alameda from what do they call it up here? BART. Yeah, it's called BART. You can get there from the BART. And I think it's $15 or $20 a day. It's
all you can
free play, all you can play. They're a non-profit. If you're ever in Las Vegas, there's the Pinball Hall of Fame. I know this for a fact. It's a $6 cab drive from pretty much anywhere on the Strip. if the cab driver's any good. Less if you Uber, but you don't Uber in Vegas. You
Yeah,
take a
no.
cab. And they're coin op. Every game in there is set to the original price that it was when it was manufactured. So the pin like this, these 83 Gottliebs and the black holes and all those are going to be a quarter. Your newer Stern games are going to be $1 or $2, and your Addams Family and all of those are going to be 50 cents or $1. No tokens. It's actual quarters. They pride themselves on that, so that you're not stuck with tokens. Which, as I said to the guy the last time I was there, which was this past year, I said, some of us wish you had tokens, because I'd take home $20 worth of tokens just as a keepsake. But that's me.
$20 worth, you only need 2.
Well, true. But
I mean, my sister has META, which is the transit system in Boston. She has one of their tokens before they switched over to the Charlie card on a necklace as a keepsake. And she has one of the older ones, not one of the newer tokens. So it's nice and heavy.
But even when we go down to Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun has both of them have small arcades for the kids there, and there's pinballs there, and they're actually in really good shape. Because kids don't really use them when the adults are playing casino games, so but they have them, which is nice.
I'm gonna go get ready for bed. Don't stay up too late.
I'm not. I'm probably gonna stream till about 3 tonight.
Night, everyone.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna give it another 45 minutes, maybe another hour, maybe 3:30, and then I'll come up. So yeah, I'm streaming this one tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna stream tomorrow or the day after. I might try to. Instead of moving the pinball rig and the computer, I think I may just move the machines. I do have a pin dolly, which makes that easy to do. It's not a real pin dolly. It's those of you who have pinball machines, a good pin dolly, the one with the hydraulic cylinder and everything that you need, is $500. I find it insane. So I've done what everybody else who doesn't want to pay that has done, which is gone to Harbor Freight and picked up one of their. They have a pneumatic dolly, which I like better than any pin dolly I've ever seen. You do have to do a quick modification to it to move the handle, so you can get it under the middle of some of the newer machines that are more heavy in the back class. But they work really well, and the good thing about Harbor Freight is a lot of the time they have really good coupons, and so you can easily find a 20% off coupon and really save considerable money, which is nice. And I was starting to say earlier, a lot of people really dream of having a pinball machine in their house, and I usually say to them that that's a dream that you can easily make a reality out of, and you can get something. You don't need an Addams Family, which is going for nearly $8,000 now for a machine from 1991. They've really come up in value. But you don't, everybody wants an Addams Family. No one needs one. And you don't have to, that doesn't have to be your first pin. I would actually say, get yourself one of these early 80s Gottliebs are really easy to acquire. You don't need to be an electronics genius to maintain these things anymore. And just basically get yourself your first pin, and And I'm going to say this is the week after you get your first pin, you'll probably buy your second. I'm out of credits. Give me a second. You know, and because what I ended up doing was buying my first pin, bringing it home, doing a little work to it, cleaned it up. Less than a week later, I found my second pin, which is the one we're using right now. And then less than a week after that, I bought 3 more. And all felt told, that was probably 3 years ago. And I think I had 6 pins for the total of $3,500 is probably my guess. Maybe less. No, I don't remember. I did, after that, I started really getting into making the electronics and everything work in them. And that was a big part of it. Is I had friends over who used to make jokes that there were some machines they saw with the glass off and open more than they did me playing them, because I was tinkering with them and trying to make them perfect. And I really love that about this hobby, is that, you know, it's not just an electronic device. You've got everything in here. You got the lights, you got the sound, you've got it all. And they're just great. And so I started being more picky about what I have, because at some point you start getting limited space. And so the answer to that is you gotta sell one and you gotta trade it for something else. And the community really does that quite well. Because if it's new to them and it's something that they can work on and play and enjoy, and then, you know, pass it on to the next person. You know, Megan and I do antiques, and my parents were actually antique auctioneers when I was younger. My grandfather was an antique auctioneer. That's how they got into it. We don't really own anything in our lives. You know, we're just curating things before we pass them on to the next person. Because in the antiques business, those antiques are older than you, and older than the people around you. And so you're kind of just the curator and the protector of these things. And that's the way I kind of look at pinballs. You know, this machine's a 1983. This machine was manufactured the year that my wife was born. I've got 2 machines next to me that are older than me. I'm 42, which is reasonably young if you think about it. And I've got a 74 and a 72 next to me, and the next machine I'm working on, which is a machine a friend gave me this past week, is a 1972 Williams machine. So it's definitely one of these things that these things are going to get passed on, and I don't have anyone to pass them on to, so I pass them on to other owners differently. And that's part of the fun for me. A guy here in town bought a Ding Dong, a 1968 Williams machine, Bally Williams machine. I think it's a Williams. And he loves the thing. And you know, he'd always wanted a pinball machine. I posted it on Facebook Marketplace because I wanted the space for something else, and he bought it. And it's great. I'm eventually going to find him a Spirit of 76, which is the game that he remembers from his childhood, and I'm going to restore that for him. But I have to say, if you understand basic electronics, you can understand an electromechanical pinball machine, because if you understand Ohm's law and basics of resistors and voltage and all of that. Every one of the electromechanical pinball machines came with a schematic, and you can still get the schematics on them. And from that, a simple, I'm not going to say simple, a nice voltmeter, like a nice Fluke, or I don't even have a nice Fluke anymore, actually. I actually have a Sears Craftsman voltmeter that I got because it's, I forget what IP rating it is. It's the one that, I think it's IP76. I think IP76 is waterproof rated. I got one that was waterproof rated because you're constantly trying to measure current for a car or something outside. So I got one that was waterproof rated. And you know, really all I use is it as a voltmeter, resistance, and continuity. And as long as you got two sets of leads, one good set of probes and one good set of alligator clips, you can pretty much fix anything on a pinball machine. And there's plenty of people out here streaming and doing YouTube and all that kind of stuff that you can figure it out. Most of these older machines, it's really easy to get some replacement electronics for. There's people remaking boards. This machine has a remake board in it, as does the other one next to it. And you're good to go. Warlock, one thing I have to do tomorrow is I have to remember to turn on the hydration widget to remind me to drink water. So they'll come up and chat and remind me periodically that you've been streaming this long. You should have drank this much water by now. Because keep getting dry. Megan brought me down some sparkling water, which makes me happy. I'm going to sit down for a couple games, guys. Don't mind. It's weird playing pinball seated, but my feet need a quick rest, and I don't want to take a break. Now that's interesting. This has never stuck here before, but it's sticking on the side of... So this has the original overlay on it, right here. And it's sticking on the side, and I've never had that happen on a game before, that it would just stay there. It makes me think, even though my pinball app says that the playfield is pitched correctly, it makes me think that maybe it's not pitched correctly. Still, we've had a couple good games for this one, because this is a persnickety machine and it is kind of tough. But I think that's why I also streamed it as my second pin to stream. The first pin to stream, I streamed everybody's favorite Addams Family. Got some good games out of that in the last week. And I figured I'd go with something that's more of a classic pinball player's machine, where there's some shot thought and everything into it. And as you can tell by looking at the back glass on this, it's back glass isn't in horrible shape, but it's not the best condition either. You know, it's the classic 7-digit Gottlieb displays. They went to 7-digit System 80, which this is a System 80A. Where's this 80B? Might be 80B. I'd have to double check that. No, this is 80B. And so Gottlieb, while everybody else went solid-state electronics around 77. Gottlieb waited until later, and they stayed doing EM pins until the last minute. And their first attempt was a System 1, which was a very interesting concept. It was basically one board, and one system board, driver board, and then they had, which is also considered a logic board, as everybody knows, it's a logic board, driver board, system board. And then they moved, they had problems with that system. Had a Rockwell chip in it that is no longer manufactured. So if you get a System 1 board, and if you have a bad system board, you sometimes have a hard, you're basically cobbled to replacing that board. And there are people trying to remanufacture those boards without the Rockwell chip in it. Then they went to System 80. System 80, many YouTube videos about this, they separated the board set into 4 boards. So you had a sound board, a power supply, a driver board, and then the system board. And there were all sorts of problems with System 80. And the main problem is that the connectors that they used didn't pinch the side of the board correctly for the ground, specifically between the system board and the driver board. And the way that the boards were manufactured, the way the boards were designed, common in a lot of electronics, you reference ground for certain things to burn off a certain amount of energy. And if you lost ground on this in particular set between the system board and your driver board, your voltage would spike. And things that were designed to have, I don't remember what the voltage was, actually. I'm pausing to think, but I'm not going to remember, so I don't know why I'm pausing. I don't know. I think it might have been things that were supposed to have 12 volts. Yeah, I think it was things that were supposed to have 12 volts. Would spike to like 40 and would blow out components. And this was a really common problem. So Gottlieb came up with a white paper that basically said the way to fix this is to add a secondary jumper wire to the wiring harness that would help it pinch the connections better. And this solved the problem. But a lot of people are overly cautious about these System 80 boards. And so what they do is they run ground wires between all sorts of things. From your power supply to your logic board to your driver board. And you'll get into some of these machines and you'll just see that there's ground wires run everywhere through the whole entire system. There's 2 schools of thought. The manufacturer said all you have to do to fix this problem is add one more small cable between 2 locations and it solves the problem. You can believe them, or you can believe the masses that you have to run a ridiculous amount of wires. I am actually somewhere in the middle. My experience is you should probably do a little bit of both, because we all know that the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. So I think you should, if you have one of these series of machines, I think you definitely should add the second jumper wire into the clip that clips between the system board and the driver board. I think you should definitely do that. I also think you should run a ground wire between those 2 boards to your power supply. I don't think you need to ground it to your lower playfield and your GI lighting. I don't think you need to ground it to your soundboard. There was never a problem with those connections. I've never heard anybody say that the soundboard was the problem in this equation. So you can save yourself some energy there. But you want to make sure all your boards have a good ground, and so you don't have any problems. So I say do both. You can see TNT Amusements has their YouTube channel. Any Gottlieb System 80 board, System 80 system you ever see him, he points it out that no, you don't need to do these stupid ground wires everywhere. All you need to do is this. You know, he's technically right, but better safe than sorry in my book. And so I would say definitely run one between your driver board and your logic board or your system board, because there's known problems there, and you know, and you should do that. And then I run one with a power supply, because the power supply is what really has ground, and the power supply in the back box has both voltage on it, and so I feel that that's the true ground of the machine, and so that's where I would run it from, to both of those boards. And that's the world according to Princess Jillian. I do have to say that, you know, when I compare this machine that I'm playing right now to some of the, and I consider this you know, this is really a second generation of solid-state electronics for Gottlieb. System 1 was the first one, and then you're going into the System 80, and then this one was the second evolution of that. You know, say what you want about the ground problems, say what you want about the limited sound. These machines play great. I mean, you're watching me play pin on what's essentially an early solid-state machine. And the machine plays surprisingly well for a machine that's 35 years old. And you know, this is the older style chunky noise that was on all the electromechanical machines back in the day. This plays better than any of those by far. I think when you compare the early 80s Gottliebs to many of the early Valley Williams machines in solid state, I think the shot layouts were better on these. I think the play and the action is better on these. I think Gottlieb lost it by not capturing enough market during the 80s, and then doing really stupid things with their games in the mid to late 80s, early 90s. Everybody else was going, I mean, the last Gottlieb machines made, I think, were 95, I think. And if you look at that, Williams was already into DMD by then. Gottlieb was still fighting to get into the DMD market. They were 2 years late for that again as well. I had a Monte Carlo, which was, I think, a 1986 machine. Great game. Middle of play field, there's a roulette wheel, and sound on it is really MIDI type sound, early sound. Fun game. I had it, I rehabbed it and sold it to an old employee of mine. He loves the retroness of it and everything. It's a great game. But when you compare that to the games of the time that Alex Williams and other people were doing, they just Gottlieb shouldn't have been in the market then. It was they weren't competing. And I don't know how everybody else feels about the new Stern machines, and I'm a big believer in Jersey Jack. I had my doubts at the beginning. I had my doubts at the beginning of any new pinball company. And the reason for that is there's been so many of them that have promised the world, taken deposits, and never delivered anything. So, you know, Jersey Jack's first machine, first and second machines, I don't really like. I don't really like Wizard of Oz, and I don't really like Hobbit. I don't like Hobbit because I'm not a Tolkien fan, and I didn't particularly find it interesting. I'm not a Lord of the Rings Tolkien person. And Wizard of Oz, I felt the software was immature, the game was immature, and but the hardware was good. And moving on to their third game, Dialed In, Pat Waller, great game designer, did so many games, including 2 that I have here in the house, which are Addams Family and Funhouse. Great games, great game designer. He also designs the PIN 2000 cabinet idea, concept, and some of really, when he designed Dialed In, he went out of his way. And I think that's fantastic. So, bounce. Oh, I thought it was going to bounce off close, guys. So I really do I do enjoy Gottlieb machines up until the 80s, up until the late 80s. Once you get into the late 80s, the only game that they made that I feel is worth a damn is Stargate. I'm sure there's some other in there. What do you call it? No Good Gophers or whatever that one was pretty good. Mario and Dre was pure crap. They had kind of a Rescue 911 game. Oh, that was horrible. So many people wasted so much money trying to even make the first shot on that game. And I didn't like that one. Cactus Jack's kind of interesting. Again, not a great game. So when it really comes down to it, I think they lost it in the late 80s. Convention I'm going to is Pintastic New England. It's my local pinball show. They do a really great job with it. I'm actually going to be volunteering and helping them out this year a little bit, recording some seminars and things, and in future years might be getting involved, more if I enjoy them. I've had some great conversations with the coordinators in emails already. So I haven't met a pinball person I don't like. So we'll see. What I really want to do, and this idea came about from some of these achievements on Twitch. I don't know who the viewers are that are still watching us here, but Twitch has achievements that you can make, and it's stream for 7 days, do this, do this, do this, and you unlock a badge, essentially. One of the ones I'm working toward now is having 50 followers, so if anybody's not following, I would love it if you could just go hit the heart up top. It doesn't cost you anything to follow. If you like what you're seeing, please do. I usually stream midnight Eastern time, 11 o'clock to midnight. I start between 11 and midnight Eastern time. Usually run until about now, 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to play a few more games because I'm having fun and there's enough viewers on still. So they have different achievements, and one of them is to stream for two different ones. One of them's a 12-hour stream and one of them's a 24-hour stream. And I was thinking to myself that you'd be hard pressed to stream for 12 or 24 hours playing pinball. That one's going to be tough. Pinball, although it's not a physical sport, you are standing and moving and doing things. It's not a video game. And you can't really pause pinball. So I was thinking about how do I get that achievement? I mean, I think I would need to tag team it with somebody or something. And then I thought, well, what if I streamed at a pinball convention? What if the convention had, you know, a game that interested a lot of people and was in the free-to-play room or in a hallway or wherever it needs to be, and people could have the opportunity to pop up here on Twitch and be the star themselves. And they could hop in and we could talk to them about what they thought of the game, especially if it was a newer game that they may have never played before. You know, if they had questions about the rules, so we could do a small interview type thing. And we could also really achieve that 12 to 24-hour stream badge, which I think would be so neat to get, especially in pinball, because I think that'd be a hard one. And so I reached out to the local show that I go to every year and basically pitched it to them and said, you know, I kind of got this idea that we could do something like this. We could stream and let everybody have the streaming experience in pinball, and maybe get some more people thinking about streaming with us, and having some fun there. And you know, it's 6 weeks before the show, so I didn't expect it yesterday. But you know, they were interested, but the hotel that they're in right now doesn't really have the infrastructure to support the internet connection, which is a problem. And they're moving to a new hotel next year. And I was like, hey, keep me in mind for 2020 then. You know, I'm not going anywhere. Part of our local pinball community, and basically I want to help out. And I also thought it would be a good thing for them because I only found out about their show from watching a video that I think Kentucky had, basically mentioning that they were going to be presenting at that event. I don't think he was. I don't remember. He wasn't presenting that year, so it wasn't presenting at the event. I think it was that he was going to the event, is what it was. He was going to the event, and I was like, oh, all right. That's great that there's a convention here in Massachusetts, just around me in Massachusetts, that I'll go to it. And I've been going ever since. And the first year I went just for the one day. I had a surgery shortly before that event. So I was up and around, and I was encouraged by my doctors to walk, but they told me not to walk too much. And probably standing in pinball machines for 12 hours at a pinball convention was probably not the best idea. I got pretty fatigued. We went and we had a great time, and ever since then, the last 2 years, we've got VIP passes so we can get 24-hour access, plus cups, mugs, all sorts of stuff. It was a really good time. And so, because I found out about it the way that I did, I think someone streaming something like that might get some more attention. And because people would naturally want to go tell their friends on social media that, hey, I was on Twitch streaming pinball at this convention. It was pretty cool. Maybe other people would find out about it that didn't know it was there. Because I think pinball's for everybody. I don't think it's really just for the people who play tournaments. I don't do tournaments. Those of you listeners and watchers who haven't seen me stream before, I've been streaming for less than a week. I've been a pinball enthusiast for years, but I've only had pinballs in my house for about 4 years, 3-4 years now. And I don't do any competitions or any tournaments. I'm just a casual home player. But I do try to track down every pinball machine when I travel, and I try to play as much as I can. And if there are any new viewers that aren't followers, please do hit that heart up above my head and right at the top of the screen. It's probably right above the pinball playfield. Follow my channel here. I stream trying to stream every night, and I'm trying to get 50 followers in my first 10 days of streaming. So anybody who can follow, I much appreciate it. I'm out on the East Coast, so this is really early morning for me. I'm probably going to sign off in another 20 minutes or so. Or 13 credits is what I got left on the machine after this game. Maybe I'll blow through all the credits and won't restack them. And if there's anybody who wants to comment in chat, please do. I really like an interactive chat. It's part of why I do this. I'm currently out of work, and I was realizing that I was missing a lot of social interaction that you have when you get out of the house every day and you go to an office. Because I wasn't doing that, I was feeling kind of lonely, and I thought this was a nice way to make new friends, and I have, which I think is fantastic. You know, I hope to someday be able to collect bits or whatever on Twitch to help maintain some of these things, because maintaining pinball is expensive. But you know, no way expecting that to make any money off of this. It's just an extension of this hobby. So. And I do have the list of the pins that I have in the house, so if there is a pin on the list you want to see me stream sooner than the other, pop it there in chat, and I'll take that into consideration next time I'm setting up the pin ring on a different spot. I think I'm probably going to bounce between this one and Rack 'em Up for the next few days. Rack 'em Up and Royal Flush Deluxe in the next few days. They're both 83 Gottliebs. They're very different play styles. This is really a pinball player's pinball machine, and the other one is really a casual player's pinball machine. And so, very different styles, very different approaches to shot sequences and everything. And so, you know, we'll just adjust the camera, guys. We'll definitely go back and forth between these. I think for the next couple days, I'm not going to move the rig. I think what I'm going to do is just move the pins and swap them. It'll be easier until the new rig comes. I'm working on a new pinball rig that will move easier. The monitor, I'm hoping that I can get the monitor to mount to the pole and all three cameras, as well as the microphone. I'm hoping that I can get it all in one solution, so that if I do it right, it'd be very easy to move between pins even in the middle of a night, instead of streaming one pin for 3-4 hours. I can take an intermission, throw a graphic up, and move it quickly. That being said, I have a limited number of pins in my home, and none of them are the newest, latest, greatest stuff. So I'm gonna have to find a place that I can stream newer pins from at some point. Saved that one. I was going to try to burn these last credits down, but I don't know if I'm going to make it, guys. At least my headache's going away. Those of you guys have been logging on day after day. Thank you so much. Your support's amazing. You know, I'm glad that there's more and more people involved in this hobby and sport, however we want to look at whatever we call this. Some people call it a sport. I don't consider it a sport for me, because I do not play competition pinball at all. And so to me, it's not really a sport, it's a hobby. And for me, a large part of this hobby is the upkeep and the maintenance on these machines, and the enjoyment I get out of fixing them and keeping them running, and honestly watching my friends play them as well is fantastic. The other thing I'm probably going to stream on this channel is live poker. I do have a home poker game every 2 weeks. I have looked into all the New Hampshire laws. I don't know what Twitch's rules are, but I've got to double check on that. But in the state of New Hampshire, home poker games, as long as the house isn't taking any money, are perfectly legal. And so my bi-weekly poker game that we usually get at least 6 people to come and play, I'm thinking of doing that. Now, the challenge there is how do I let you, the viewers on Twitch, see what everybody's cards are without compromising the game? And I have 2 solutions for that. I'm thinking of either taking the table that I have, and I have a pretty nice table, and cutting a bunch of holes in it, and putting some pretty low res. I mean, they're probably just going to be 720 cameras. I mean, because the image is going to be so small. Another piece of plexiglass and having the players kind of keep their cards there so that you guys can see what the players have. The other way is I'm thinking of building an RFID-enabled poker table and writing the software so that you guys could see what everybody had. And I would have started that already if I wasn't unemployed. But I'm not going to go spend a deck of RFID-enabled cards are $130, and I just can't get my head around that when I have to at the moment. Hey, Annie. She distracted me. That was her fault.
Oh, yeah, okay. I am trying to save my final video file, but it's saving as a Photoshop project or whatever. I can't save it as another format.
You have to go save as.
I did that, and it won't let me change the...
drop-down?
No. It has a drop-down, but it doesn't have anything else in it.
I was going to play until I'm out of credits, which is 11 more games, but...
You'll be up until like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, which is why I'm thinking the viewers are dropping on me, so I think I'm going to probably play for another 15 minutes and just play till 3:30. Okay. Because no one's chatting with me, so, you know, this video's all good, but you guys could all be in bed and I wouldn't know it. But if you are listening, and you are still awake, thanks for joining me once again, and you know, it's great to have people here. You know, pinball is very much a social thing, and it's nice to have the ability to socialize without leaving the house. It's kind of nice. Score of the night right here. So we did fill 1 rack tonight. We didn't do 2. I think our top score was 1.6 million tonight, which This is a pretty low-scoring game, so that's pretty good. Just so everybody knows, 1.6 million on this game is good. 1.6 million on Adam's Family is an embarrassment. Just sort of like that shot that I just let run through. But yeah, I must be getting tired, which is good. So we have a list of short list of things I need to work on in this machine. I need to find that clip. Buy a new one because they were cheap. Just so everybody knows, you know, this is a '83 Gottlieb. The only person who really sells Gottlieb parts is Steve from Pinball Resource. He has the licensing to remanufacture parts for Gottlieb machines, and so that's really the place to go if you have one of these and you need a part. He's your go-to guy. He is an old school guy, is my understanding. He does not take credit cards on his website. He has a website with all his part numbers, and he keeps it reasonably updated, but you have to order with the part numbers. Very fanatical about that because that's the way the shop is organized. And he does not take credit cards. So you either need to, submit your order and mail in a check, or you need to go about it a different way. He will do accounts after a while. So after you've placed your first couple orders, he'll give you credit. And basically, he just on delivery send you an invoice, and you've got a certain amount of days to pay it after that. So he's a pretty trustworthy guy after you've done some business with him. My thing is I never actually need that much at a time, and so I never really end up ordering too much. So I usually end up combining orders with somebody else, and that's why I lost this clip. Where it is. It's because my friend Sarah is the one who ordered it for me, and it came in, and it was in a little plastic bag because it was like a $6 part, and I have no idea where I put it. So I gotta find it, and that's why the glass is off tonight. Is because the guide there by the 8-ball ramp needs a little clip to hold it in place. I do love the spinner in this game. I replaced the spinner in this game when I got the machine because the old one was tired, and I love spinners. I mean, pop bumpers, slingshots, they're okay. Spinners are just fun. Now you could just spin that thing all day long. Decent ball one. That's not a bad ball one. The other good thing about this game is you do rack up a pretty good score if you get a good first ball one, because the bonus is calculated based on how much is in the rack. And if you get a good ball one, even if you drain 2 and 3, you can get a decent score because it's giving you points for every ball you have currently in the rack. I gotta take a one shot here. So there we go. There's that. Now we're gonna nail the spinner, which means I need to get this over here. So we'll drop down there. There we go. We got the spinner. All right. Now we're gonna make the 10 and the 15. Alright. Guys, we might have a couple more games left in me, but that's about it. that one shouldn't have counted. I'm kind of not trying on this game now at this point because that first ball drained the way it did. I feel like this is pitched just a little off. Like, seems like it's tilted just a little bit. The ball doesn't want to go through that line as much as it does the other one. And the reason why I keep saying that this is a pinball player's game is because you need a lot of, even though the rules on this are blatantly easy, the shots on it are reasonably complex in some areas, and you have to understand lane changing, which is more complex than the average basic person, because that's a big part of the game is understanding lane changes. In that spinner and why you need to do what you need to do. So maybe the rules aren't as easy as I think they are. But you gotta be pretty good to, like, right now that 4 is lit, I need to hit that 4. I gotta get the ball away from that. Nope, now I don't hit the 4 because, but I had to hit that shot that I just did to reset that target so that I could hit the 10-2, which is now not available. The 4 is now back. Now I can hit that 4 shot. Now I gotta hit the 13 and the 6. I'm gonna hit this 13 first to get that one. And now I've gotta hit the 7-5 shot on the left there, on the right there, to get that drop target bank to reset. And to be able to get that 6 that's blinking. So, you know, the game is complicated enough that that it's fun. And that was a bad ball for me. So lane changing now, I just nailed the 3 by doing the lane pass, but I got nothing to shoot now. All right, good. I hit the 8 ball. Now I got to reset. The only shot I really have blinking here is a 6. Good news is that drop target's up. Now I just got it. So I got a 7. I got a lane for a 7, and I have a shot for a 7. The other thing I should mention is every time you hit a slingshot or a pop target, it changes the left-hand side over here, changes what this value is. So every time I hit one of these, or I hit those, it's going to change that value. I can't get that 15 shot because the 7's down. The 7-15 shot because that was down. I would have had to hit that one to get it to reset. And so it's you do have to have some skill. It's not an easy game, and it's not a high scoring game. So I think that may be why it didn't catch on the bars and things. But the theming was good. Everybody understands pool. Yes, yes, Too Hard. It is a System 80, I think it's an 80D. It's a 1983, so it does have that hardware in it. This one has a new system board in it, but a completely rebuilt driver board. And the reason why I did that is the system board that was in here, I was misbehaving, and the easier way to deal with misbehaving was just to buy a Rotten Dog. And so I bought a new Rotten Dog system board. It's an all-in-one system board for all the System 80s. It's got dip switches on it, so you can select the game you want. And and I bought a new Rotten Dog power supply because I was ordering the system board anyways. I figured I'd order a power supply. And so I did all the ground mods. I talked about that earlier, about the two schools of thought on the ground mods for the System 80s. Whether you run ground cables all over the place or you do what Gottlieb suggested, which was just add that second cable into that clip between your system and driver boards. I did both. I ran ground wires between the system, the driver, and the new power supply board. And I did add the clip, the extra wire into the clip between the two. Ugh. You're watching me die because I'm about to stop streaming for the night because it's 3:30 on the East Coast here, and I'm running out of gas. But this game, I like it. I have two System 80s here in the house, both 1983s. One of them is a Royal Flush Deluxe, which was a remake of the 1976 Gottlieb EM machine that they had. And then I have this one racked up. And I like both of them. I like Gottlieb's. I was saying earlier in the stream that that this one here really is. I mean, it was very underrated. It's a very good pinball player's game. You have to know pin strategy and you have to understand shots. To appreciate this game. And when I first got it, I don't think I appreciated it as much as I did because I had it set on 5-ball. And on 5-ball, not as many lights are blinking at a time. And it makes the game actually so much harder. I thought I was making it easier for my friends, and I was making it harder. And so the first review I wrote about this game was not good. That I was saying that the game just... You know, it just the logic was flawed. It was too complicated, and now I really like it. That being said, I think it's time to pass it on to the next person. I'm probably going to take it to a pinball convention in June and see if I can sell it. It's got a few little quirks in it. That's why the glass is off at the moment. The 8-ball shoot ramp up here, I ordered a new clip for it and never put it in. So I don't know where it is now. I'm going to have to probably reorder another one. I did an LED treatment in it, but the LEDs are a little big, and as a result, some of them don't stay in contact all the time, so I have to do a couple little things there. This pop bumper here is just a slingshot here is not. I think the coil needs to be replaced. I'm going to check the resistance on that. And I've only really noticed that while I was playing tonight. So you have a Mars God of War. Yeah, you just rolled it. Yeah, these I really like the way this plays, and it's I guess I like it. Oh, I mean, did I bump the camera? I did. I bumped this camera again. There we go. I really compare this to some of the early solid state Bally's Williams machines, and I just, even though this has the big old-fashioned clunky flippers, I think it's a great game for someone who's just starting their collection but is interested in tournaments. It's a great game because it plays like a electromechanical, but it is solid state. Oh yeah, I can turn the sound up on the. You want it on? Want me to turn the sound on the pin up a little bit? Yeah. It's gonna reset the game I'm in, but don't worry about that. Let me find the pot for this. It's here, I think. Let me add some credits while I'm in here. This machine, as I was saying to the stream earlier, was reasonably trashed when I got it. I just threw. Okay. Let's see. I don't know what I just did to it. I'm gonna restart it real quick. And let's see if the sound's up. Nope, I turned it down. I turned the pot the wrong way. Okay. I'm gonna reset when I close it, I think. Now I should be able to open the door and adjust the sound. It's kind of a boring little soundtrack. I think you should be able to hear that better now. Let me see if I can see it in my stream audio. Yeah, there you go. It's not as bad as Black Hole audio, I have to say that. Which is one of my favorite System 80 games, actually, was Black Hole. But it really is a fun game if you're a pinball player. It's an easy concept to understand because it's pool. You're basically just filling a rack of balls. You're just shooting at whatever is blinking at that time. There's some complexity in with the lane change. You just play Big House. Yeah, that was another good one. I like Black Hole and I like Fun House. Both great System 80 games. Black Hole especially. I love the lower play field in Black Hole. In Funhouse, you have 3 play fields because you have the main play field, an upper play field, and then the lower play field. The problem is people are finding out how great those machines really were. And these 80s Gottliebs were really underrated because everybody else went to the thinner flippers a lot sooner. And people like those. Yeah, 8 flippers. You know, and these machines, they're rock solid, they play well, and they were designed pretty well. So I really like it. That being said, I was saying earlier in the stream that I grew up in a household full of people that were antique auctioneers. My grandfather was an antique auctioneer, as was my mother and my father. And I learned at a very young age that we don't, we really don't own things. This machine is from 1983. It's 35 plus years old now. I was born in the mid 70s. I have machines that are older than me. I kind of just curate what I own because everything that I own is going to get passed on to someone else at some point. And so that's the way I look at these. These are in my space for a while, and then they move on to somebody else's. And I think this one I might sell to make room for something different. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the problem with Haunted House, you're absolutely right about that. Is Haunted House is hard to repair. What'd you say? Sorry.
I said you just sunk it?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
I'm going to bed.
Okay. Why is this? Oh, I'm out of credits again. Let me. I thought I added credits on last time. I'll just add 10. That'll make life easy. Yeah, Haunted House is a horrible machine to replay because of those 3 play fields. And there's very little room when you lift that play field up to get to that lower play field even. It's tight on the back of that. Because if something goes wrong on the upper play field, it's all the way in the back of the machine. And when you tilt the play field up, you've got very little space back there to get your hands in, and that second play field's up there, so all the mechanics of that are up there too. The good thing is like I said, I replaced the system boards and the power supplies in both of my 83 machines. There was nothing wrong with the one in Royal Flush, but I was ordering the one for this one. This machine was beat to hell when I got it. And so I was replacing the one in this one, so I said I was going to just replace both of them at the same time. You're placing an order and you're paying the shipping, you might as well, right? And so these both have new power supplies and new system boards. I had to completely rebuild the driver board in this one. And the benefit of that was, yeah, I have played Mars God of War once at a convention. The benefit of having two machines with the same electronics in them is if you are questioning if something's working, you can swap parts out. So the good thing about these Gottlieb System 80s is all the driver boards were identical. From System 80 ABC, all of them identical. And I think that's great because I had a 1986 Monte Carlo in the house that had all sorts of problems as well. And I was able to diagnose the problems by putting that driver board into this machine and seeing all of this. So which System 1s do you have? I'm curious. So System 1, everything was basically on the same board except the sound card if I remember correctly. I've never worked with System 1 other than to help a friend find that a replacement Rockwell chip for it, because if you lose that chipset in that, you're a hurt puppy, I've heard. Lo and behold, the problem with the Monte Carlo is that someone had done some hack wiring in it. Dragon with a Clear Coat and Charlie's Angels. Oh, Charlie's Angels is a good looking game. I haven't played it, I've seen it online. I was collecting Gottlieb, early Gottlieb stuff, early Gottlieb solid state stuff for a little while. That's why I have these two. Royal Flush Deluxe was the first pinball we ever bought, and we'll probably never get rid of that. And this was actually our second. And you know, yeah, the Royal Flush. Do you want the 83 version, the solid state version, or do you want the? They did make it as an electromechanical one in '76. I'm looking for the EM one in '76 in good condition, and both, yeah. So the reason I'm looking for a '76 is I was born in November of '76, and my wife was born in 1983. So I want to put, even though I have all of my machines organized chronologically, I want to put the old Royal Flush Deluxe next to the new Royal Flush Deluxe, or the old Royal Flush next to the new Royal Flush Deluxe, because then we'd have the one from the year of my birth and the one from the year of her birth. Because we're never going to get rid of the Royal Flush Deluxe we have. It's sentimental, and because it was our first pin, and it's in beautiful shape. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm almost convinced it's a home use only machine. The playfield has so little wear on it, and it's just, even the cabinet's in great shape. It's just a beautiful machine, and so we'll probably never get rid of that one. I want to take it to a pinball convention because I think it's in such great shape that I think it could win Best in Show. But then again, I don't want to put it in a free play room for a weekend and have it get beat up. So it's kind of a trade-off. Two-Hearted, I'm not sure if you're following me already, but please click the heart up above. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. I've only been streaming for less than a week, and There's an achievement that I can unlock within Twitch when I hit 50, and I'm trying to hit that in my first 10 days of streaming, because I'm competitive that way, and I like those things. So if you're not following, please do. I'm trying to stream. I'm out of work at the moment, so I usually do. I'm a director of software teams, like DevOps and cloud teams, and I'm temporarily out of work at the moment, looking for a new company, and I've been trying to keep myself busy, and because I'm kind of missing that social interaction from the office, and so getting here on Twitch and talking to people like you about pinball while I play has been keeping me active. So it's been a great thing the last few weeks. So if you're not following, you like what you're seeing, please do. I guess it doesn't cost you anything. There's no commitment. Cancel at any time, as they say on television. Last few days I was streaming everybody's favorite, of course, Addams Family. It's the second pride and joy in my collection, as I call it. I'm going to turn this pin down just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I'll just reset it. That's okay, who cares? Which is really kind of the second pride and joy in my collection. I really love the Pin 2000 cabinet that I have. I have both play fields for it, and I think that's kind of the new pride and joy at the moment. But I love Addams Family, and it's such a well-known pin that I thought that would be a good thing to start streaming on. When I published the list of pins that I have, a lot of people said they'd never seen this game before, and it doesn't surprise me because there was less than 1,800 made. It really wasn't popular, and I really think it's an underrated pin. I think it's a lot of fun at all levels. Couldn't keep that one in. I did order a new tripod for the pin rig for down here. It was supposed to be here today. It shipped yesterday, and USPS doesn't even have the tracking number in their system yet, so that means that it probably hasn't left the factory yet. So who knows when that's coming. The Gottlieb guy. So what do you have for machines? I'm always interested in what people have for pins, and I'm glad to hear that there's that you're a Gottlieb guy, because I was really the Gottlieb girl for a while. I actually bought the domain name GottliebPinball.com. I couldn't believe it was open. Originally, I started restoring these. I really was feeling like I was the only person who loved them. Everybody I talked to at pinball conventions were all like, "Oh, you're better off going with early Bally. You're better off going with this." I just love the way these play, though. I mean, they've got to be pitched right, and they've got to be set up. They're a little persnickety that way. This game in particular, if this is not dead on pitched and leveled correctly, you have problems. I've never seen Dragon before, so I'm gonna have to look at that one. I've seen Mars God of War. Oh, Strikes and Spare, that's a good one. You have a Williams Slug, yeah, I know the Slugfest, and a Chicago Coin EM Superstar. I'll have to look up Dragon. I've never seen that one. Is that a System 1? Come on. There we go. problem with streaming pin is you can't stop to look stuff up online real quick. People start talking about stuff. Oh, your Slugfest dispenses baseball cards. Oh, that's neat. I'll have to look that up. Yes, this is one. Yeah, and Gottlieb was really late to the party. I mean, everybody else was 2 years behind him, 2 years ahead of him in solid state. And they were really behind, and I think they got a bad rep with the System 80 ground problem, which really, I mean, I know it probably fried a bunch of people's machines, but it really isn't that much of a problem to fix. And I liked the Amazing Spider-Man one. You know, was one of the Super 80s that first came out. Hot tip. I don't know hot tip. Yeah, Royal Flush was our first one, and it's a great game. I really like it a lot. It's two reasons. It was our first pin. It's in beautiful shape, and my wife loves it so much because it is something that is very easy to understand. She was explaining. She was on the stream a little earlier tonight, saying that she was babysitting for a close friend of ours. They have 2 kids, and they came up partly because we have one of my machines is a 74 Gottlieb soccer, and both of the kids are really into soccer, and so she brought them up to the house because she was actually babysitting them at their house, and she brought them up to the house to play pin, and they fell in love with it. And one of them has some learning issues of some kind, and they excelled at it very quickly because it is tactile, it's visual, it's audible, and it's all of those things. And Royal Flush was a very easy game to explain to them because one of them is like 8 or 9, and they just latched right onto it. And I think that's part of it as well. Is a lot of our friends aren't huge pinball players, and so getting a game in the house that everybody understands. Hey, you're shooting the ball at those drop targets. You get all the red ones down. You get this Royal Flush, and the other ones. It's very easy to explain, easy to walk them through. I feel that way about this game too. But this game with the lane change and the spinner and the 8-ball shot complicate that a little bit. And the only thing I would really change, I don't think changing the lane change would be a good idea. I don't think changing the spinner. I don't think changing the 8-ball shot. I mean, to do the lane changes, I don't think you should do that. I think leaving it the way it is right. The thing I wish that it would happen is when you did a lane change, it would reset the pop bumpers, the drop targets, and that would make it easier for people because I was kind of narrating my thought process as I was playing earlier to kind of explain why I was making some of the shots I was, that these things aren't just random. And I can't explain it now because I can't keep a ball on the table because it's 4 o'clock. I was going to stop half hour ago. But right now I can't hit the 10 until I knock down the 1-9 shot up on the left there. And I'm going to throw that back in because I didn't have my hand there because I was pointing. Don't worry, it'll drain in a second anyways, even though I just cheated. But now I have to hit that 1-9 shot to reset so I can even get to the 10, and I gotta stay away from the spinner during that time. And the only other way I can get the 10 shot is to try to get out one. So now I just hit the 10 shot because I got the 1-9 out of it. And so, explaining the thought process behind the shots to a new person complicates this game, so it makes it not for new people. But for a pinball player, this is a great game because it is challenging and simple at the same time. And my wife says, I don't know why people wouldn't put this in a pinball tournament, because it does really challenge you to get to this. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have a very exciting wizard mode at all. It really is kind of a boring wizard mode. I mean, I fill up the rack here, and I get this light, and the rack just resets and goes back. And it's very similar to Royal Flush. Royal Flush, you get a Royal Flush and you knock all the targets down, it just resets. And so, yeah, no, they didn't get, yeah, Gottlieb's didn't get any tourney love at all. And this machine is, just to tell you, when I got this machine, it was so beat to hell that the coin door, somebody cut all the wires out of trying to figure out if there was a problem with the ground there, but they cut all the wires. They did some tomfoolery and hackery in a couple other places. No, I don't compete at all. I don't do any tournaments. I'm actually just a casual player. I think I'm going to start doing some tournaments soon. You know, I've just enjoyed it for the hobby of it and my enjoyment of fixing electronics and that kind of stuff. But there is a women's league in Massachusetts that's starting to gain some traction, and although I wouldn't have a problem playing in a man's league, I do want to support the women's league. I want to make sure that they get enough people to be successful. So I really want to, I do want to do that this year. And they will be at the next pinball convention that I'm going to be at in Massachusetts. And so I'm gonna hook up with some people there and see if I can get into that tournament and see how I do. My problem is I don't have a machine newer than 2005, so most of the tournament machines are either old EMs, late 80s, early 90s, in my area. I don't know about your areas, but the machines in this area tend to be late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s Bally Williams machines, older Gottlieb machines, electromechanical stuff from the early mid 70s, and a whole bunch of new Stern. And I am not. I only have one Stern machine in my house, and it's a 2005 Sopranos. It's actually the newest machine I have, and that is not a machine that you ever see at tournaments. Frankly, because it is such a long game, it is such a high-score playing game, and I think most of the machines are sitting in private collections of people who loved The Sopranos. And that does not necessarily mean that they are people who go to pinball tournaments and bring them. You know, most of the people who have Sopranos machines were Sopranos nuts and bought them. So, which is fine. I mean, I was a Sopranos nut as well, and that's why I wanted one. Oh, it showed up at Pittsburgh, really? Well, that's good. Maybe it'll show up next year. Maybe I'll do that. Go to Pittsburgh. The few things that aren't right on this machine at the moment. The reason I have the glass off at the moment isn't actually because of glare. It's actually because the ramp going into the 8-ball shot has a broken clip that I took off. Got the replacement, and I don't know where I put it. So I'm going to have to order another one of those. And the only person who sells them is Steve from Pinball Resource. So I have to order another one of those. I have a couple lights here on the playfield. This has got all LEDs. Most of my machines have LEDs. I put LEDs even in my old EMs, but I put the soft white ones in, so they look just like the originals. But I've got one here that the hole wasn't big enough for the LED type I put in. So I have to move the socket up a little bit. You can see when I tap it here on the side, it gets brighter. So I gotta fix that. This slingshot here is not as strong as it should be. I don't know if it's the mech underneath or the coil. When I got this machine, it was very bad. So I went through it and I checked the resistance on all the coils. So it could be a bad coil sleeve inside, or it could be a burr in the linkage or something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at that. And so those are essentially the three things that need to get fixed on this machine that I need to do in the next month. And then I'm gonna bring it to Pintastic, New England in Massachusetts, and I'm gonna. The cabinet art on this is, well, there is no cabinet art. It's just stripes. But you know, it was definitely vended someplace. It's got some graffiti. Some people signed it, put their names on it. It's got some bings and scratches. The back glass is actually surprisingly in decent shape. It's not horrible. But I'm probably gonna list it at the show and hope that it's someone's first pin, or hope that it's a tournament player that understands that. And I know I'm probably gonna lose money on it because you know, I put new power supply and a new board in it. So I don't remember how much the power supply, but I think the board was $250 at least. It's got all new rubbers. Did a complete flipper rebuild kit. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. You know, I'll say it for everybody else. I'm trying to make 50 followers in my first 10 days. I think I'm getting really close. I think I got a couple more followers tonight. You know, I am on the East Coast. I'm out of work at the moment, so I'm able to stream late into the night, which is what I've been doing. And what are you watching here? So you're watching from the Glory Hole Foundation. I'm sorry, I don't know what that is, but yeah. We're watching me play pinball live. So yeah, I usually stream later at the night because I'm not working at the moment, and okay, cool. I have no idea. I've never seen that site before. So yeah, we're just live streaming pinball. I do it pretty much every night. Yeah, I'll take a look at it later. Okay, interesting. I will have to take a look at that. Same shirt and everything. Yeah, okay. Alright, guys. So yeah, I normally stream pretty much every day. I'm on the East Coast. I'm usually off by now. I usually end at like 3:30. But actually, this is my last credits. This might be my last game. But yeah, I usually stream pretty much every night. Like I was saying, I'm not a tournament player by any stretch of the imagination, but I love the hobby and the sport. Probably going to start doing tournaments this year, as I was just saying to someone else. So, and yeah, I really got into the older Gottlieb machines pretty early when I started buying pins for the house. Because I think a lot of people were afraid of the electronics in these because they're not as bulletproof as some of the other ones, because they were a little later to the party. And I'm glad that that you're collecting those as well, because they definitely are. I think every pinball machine's worth saving. I think there's a home for each one of these. I picked up, a friend of mine had a 1972 Williams machine that he gifted me this past week. Don't know if it works. It's actually still in my van outside. It's a 72 Big Star. And so I'm going to... yeah, it's a 1972 Big Star. It's a Williams. I've never heard of it. It looks like it's going to need some work. The rubbers in it are completely shot. I mean, like they're broken and in a couple spots. So I know I need a rubber kit. I haven't brought it. It only came with 3 legs, so it hasn't even made it in the house yet because there's no way I could have got it in here. Actually, the playfield looks like it's in good shape. There's some scratches and stuff on the... Yeah, it's like a 3-legged dog. I was calling it the tripod earlier. You know, so my pins are mostly in my basement, and as a result, I have to... You know, my part of the country, I'm up here in New England. I live north of Boston, and so we have what we call bulkheads. You know, the outside doors that you pull open to a staircase, and getting some of the pins in and out of there depends how heavy they are. Really depends if we can get them in and out easily. And the electromechanical ones, they're pretty easy because you just take the head off and you carry them in. And Megan and I can do that on our own. The way I normally do that is scoot it to the end of the van, put 2 legs on, scoot it around, put the 3rd leg on, and then lift it up and off, and then we put the 4th leg on, and then we can grab it and move it. And especially if there's no head on it, I can usually get them right down here in the basement pretty easily. This one only has 3 legs, so I have to order a set of legs for it. And until I do that, I'm not really going to bring it inside. And so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna order a rubber kit at the same time because I know it's gonna need that. I'm gonna order a set of probably order a flipper rebuild kit just because I'm guessing it's gonna need it, and I usually just like having those around because that way you have pretty much everything you need if you ever do need it. And I'm very much a person of, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But at the same time, I'm also kind of a be prepared type person. So the last thing you want to do is have a night of people, you know, playing pin and then have coil burn out and not have it for the next month. So I usually order the flipper rebuild kits complete so that I have it. So my plan is to get the legs and the rubbers in, and then get it in the house. working on it, and then I will power it up and make sure the power supply is good. That's the most important thing for me at the moment. Is I don't have any schematics or anything on it. I'm going to try to find those. There's a guy who goes to the next pinball show I go to that has a lot of that. And so I'm going to get those and hopefully get the thing back in healthy order. It might just work. I mean, a lot of these machines, if they're put away, sometimes they just come back to life on their own. I don't know if this is going to be one of those. That was the case with Ding Dong, the 68 battle machine I had. I bought it for a couple $100. I don't remember, $250, $300, and the person didn't know if it worked or not. And the playfield needed some work. It looked like chipping lead paint, yeah, he usually has stuff, but I am gonna. You're right. I definitely should send him a message and ask him if he has the schematics for it. I haven't actually looked all underneath. I opened up the back box, but I haven't even looked at the playfield out of it yet. And it's literally. So there's a makerspace here in my hometown, my current hometown, that I was on the board of directors of. I was the treasurer and I was one of the people who helped incorporate the space. And it was there. Someone had brought it into as a donation, and no one ever did anything with it. And so when I was recently talking on Facebook about something, one of the members and one of the current board members reached out to me and said, hey, we've got this old pinball machine here. He took 2 pictures of it, one of the back glass and one of the inside of the back box, and said, it looks like it's okay. Do you want it? And I, of course, responded with a capital YES with a couple explanation points, and then said, yes, I'll take it. Does it work? And then I responded, it doesn't matter if it works or not. I'll take it anyways. And so I went and picked it up Monday, and so it's been in the truck for a couple days. Playfield is not shot. Playfield looks like it's in good condition. It needs a good cleaning. The plastic needs some cleaning. Needs new rubbers. I'm going to do my normal LED treatment on it, which is the cheap LED treatment for an EM machine. I have the frosted white LED bulbs with the the bayonet style one. What are those? God, I can't remember what the number on those are. And I found a place to buy them by the 1,000 really cheap. And so I'll do the LED treatment on it, which will help save the back glass. The back glass, I did pop the back glass out of it when I looked at it. There was a little bit of speckling on it, but it wasn't horrible. Especially for its age. I would have said it was in good condition, but not excellent or anything. So that one I'm probably gonna work on. I mean, I do have a couple here that I need to do some minor fixes on. Both my older Gottliebs that I have here. I've got a Pro Football from '72 and a '74 Soccer. The 2-player version, not the 4-player version. So it's soccer, not super soccer. But it still has the same ball mechanism in the background, if you're familiar with that one. And I might sell soccer, but I think I'm going to keep the Pro Football one, frankly, because I don't think I'd get much money for it. I really like it. It's got 4 flippers down the bottom here, double stacked. Really fun game. the most of the inserts in it are so cupped the ball sometimes gets stuck, and the playfield is really not in great shape. If I've ever seen a candidate for someone to strip a playfield and repaint it as their favorite sports team, this is the one for that, because the back glass that's in this, I could swing over and show you a picture of it. It is, where the football players are, it is so trashed that you can see the light bulb straight through it. So it really is a candidate for someone to turn this into their favorite football sports team. All of that being said, I love the game. I know that if I sold it, I wouldn't get much money for it, and I think it's worth more to me here. It's also, it doesn't have a shooter lane. It's a push flipper to shoot. It shoots from the middle here, which I think is interesting. It's different. Yeah, do it apart stuff. No, I want to keep it whole. So I think it's worth more to me as it is in my collection, even as the beat up machine that it is, it would be to sell it. So I'm probably going to keep it. That being said, I would probably, I'm probably going to take it to the Pintastic New England show in June and put it in the free-to-play room. I will probably put a for sale sign on it for not a lot, for a few $100s, and I don't know if they'll let me do this. I know that they'll let me put a for sale sign on it, definitely. But I don't know if they'll let me. I think my playfield camera's gonna die. Yep, it just died. Well, that is probably the meaning that I should go to bed. My playfield camera was running off a battery because the power cord popped out of it, and it just died on us. So that's probably it for tonight, considering I said I was going to stop 45 minutes ago anyways. I don't know if they'll let me put a sign on it with the for sale sign that says, I really want to sell it to someone if it's their first pinball. I think that would be good. Or for someone who is going to do a complete teardown of it and turn it into something else. And use the cabinet, repaint the cabinet, put a new glass in it, put a new playfield overlay in it, and make it into a New England Patriot. You know, we're up in Patriots country up here in New England, so turn it into a New England Patriots or a sports team or a college team themed game, I think would be fantastic use of that. And I'd sell it to someone for, I don't know, $300 if they were going to do that. And why don't I do that? Because I don't paint at all. I am the person who, you know, we own a small antique business, and I believe that stuff, as long as it's functioning perfectly, you shouldn't polish it up and make it look brand new, because if you do that, then you might as well have bought a reproduction, right? So I'd like someone else to do that, because I'm not the person to do that. I'm not the person who can paint up and do that kind of stuff. But I think it would be someone's first pin. It would be a great pin for that. I've done all the electronics and everything on it. And I think it'd be a good first pin. And I think it'd be a good pin for someone who was going to do a complete teardown and turn it into something else. Because then they could, if they were doing that, the cupping on the inserts wouldn't matter anymore, because they could just sand it off, put their new overlay or their new paint job on it, and when they put the new layer of poly on top of it, they could do enough so that the ball wouldn't get stuck in the cups anymore. And so I think those are like the two solutions. It either goes to someone who's going to keep it cupped like that and not care. This is our first pin, and it doesn't cost us a lot of money, and we'll see if we can fix and work on this. And I could be kind of part of the catalyst for another person having pins in their house, which is like the ultimate goal of all of us, I think. And or, you know, someone who's going to turn it into a Patriots or a Broncos or whoever machine. I don't think I care what team they pick, but I think that'd be a good use of that. Soccer I'd sell. It's in good shape. Cabinet art needs some work, but the playfield is really in good condition. It plays really well. The back box stuff works perfectly. The back glass is in pretty good shape. It's really a fun game, and I think this one I'll probably sell. The playfield on this is in good shape. And you know, by the time I bring it there, it'll be electronically, it's in perfect shape. I got these couple little things to fix on this, and then this could be someone's first machine as well. Because you know, it's either that or it's somebody who likes touching them up, and you know, I'm not that person. And I need to make some room down here because I can really only fit 10 pins in this room, and I've got 2 upstairs, you know, one in the van and one in the dining room, and so with that, with that I need to free up some space down here, and I eventually want to buy myself a brand new Jersey Jack, so that's not going to be cheap. So maybe a little money towards another machine. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Two Hearted, thanks for the great conversation we've had. Looks like those trolls left the room about the gloryholefoundation.com. I would suggest no one go to that link. I had link blocking turned on, but I did turn it off because pinball people were sharing links and they were getting blocked, and I felt bad about that. So I turned that off, and unfortunately these trolls came in and did that. Fortunately, I think all of us who were watching were smart enough not to pay any attention to them and just ignore them, because I know that my picture is not currently on the gloryholefoundation.com. And I'm going to say also that if I was going to go look at a website that somebody like that randomly dropped in my room and put a link on, I definitely wouldn't do it from a computer. I would probably do it from an iPad or something where viruses aren't possible. So I'll just say that out loud. So I'm going to turn down for the night. It is 4:20 a.m. my time. I will, tomorrow's Thursday night. Tomorrow is my wife's birthday. I will probably still stream tomorrow night at probably 11 or 12. I have it on my page below us now as 11, but it'll probably be 11, 11:30 or 12, and kind of doing the 11 to 3 a.m. Today it was about 12:30 to 4:30. I can't actually see my duration on the screen. Yes, I can. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 45 minutes exactly. Again, anybody who's not following me, please do click that heart icon up above. Trying to get to the 50 followers in my first 10 days of streaming. Doesn't cost you anything, so if you could do that, really appreciated. Subscriptions are always great as well. Don't expect anybody to feed me any money, but if you have Amazon Prime and you're not subscribed to another channel, you do get a free subscription every month, which I think gives me a whopping $2.50. And I definitely would appreciate that as well. Again, don't want to be begging people for money, but if you're entertained and you want to do that, you can. It'll definitely go a long way to helping maintain these pins and keep me buying cameras, microphones, and better gear to keep streaming. For me right now, I just appreciate all you guys tuning in, listening, and conversing with me. Not leaving the house every day to go to a regular job, you lose a lot of your social interaction, and this has replaced that and has kept me out of a little bit of a funk, if you will, and I really appreciate that. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and your continued support. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you all and chat tomorrow. Thanks a lot.